History isn't just what happened, it's who we are. And now you can explore Africa's incredible past like never before. Introducing the new and engaging course catalog from aelearning.net, a world-class provider of interactive e-learning focused on Africa's rich and diverse history. From the rise of ancient Nubia and the power of the Mali Empire, to the architectural wonders of Egypt and the development of astrological knowledge by the Dogon people, each self-paced course brings history to life through stunning visuals, immersive video lessons, and interactive assessments. Designed for students, educators, and lifelong learners around the world, AE Learning's courses make discovering Africa's story easier, deeper, and more engaging than ever. With AE Learning, education meets flexibility. Whether you're a student, teacher, or lifelong learner, our platform gives you access to credible knowledge, rich multimedia lessons, and tools that make learning African history engaging and unforgettable. Join thousands of learners already rediscovering Africa's past and shaping its future. Visit www.aelearning.net today. Start your journey through Africa's past today, because the story of Africa is the story of us all. AE Learning, inspiration through high-quality education.
Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Oh, hold on. What's this? Nah, this ain't right. This ain't right. Hold on. Let me get this screen together. There we go. There we go. I'm like, what's going on? Why was my picture so small? Peace, everyone. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thanks so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. We are rolling to Senegal. We are rolling to Senegal in less than a month. March 9th, May 9th to the 18th. May 9th to the 18th, we're rolling to Senegal for the Jazz Festival in St. Louis. If you're interested in joining us, please visit danfo.africa. Again, if you're interested in joining us, please visit danfo.africa. We will love to host you in Senegal. Beautiful country, awesome food, awesome food, the best food in Africa. So come get you a hot plate on me. We are also rolling to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival, Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. Then we're going to Ghana and Ivory Coast and Sierra Leone in November. Then we're going to the Voodoo Festival in January. So if you're interested in coming and joining us on an awesome tour and experience, please visit danfo.africa. Dots Africa. We would love to host you. Shout out to Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is coming to Atlanta um, on the 16th. So my birthday's Wednesday. He's coming to Atlanta to perform on that Thursday. And I'm going to go check him out. So I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. And if you're in Atlanta, in fact, where's Taj performing at? Let's see here. Where's Taj Mahal? Atlanta performance. Variety Playhouse, April 16th at 8 p.m. So Variety Playhouse, April 16th at 8 p.m. Taj is coming into town. So Taj actually came to Senegal with me back in 2024. Yeah, 24. 2024, Taj came to Senegal with me. So yeah, we are gonna have a great time in Atlanta for Taj's performance. And then guys, make sure you visit Downfold out of Africa. Come join us on a tour or two. That's a tongue twister. A tour or two, one tour or two tours or more. Come and join us. We'll love to host you. There we go. Guys, hit that like button. Shout out to Arzulis. Shout out to LTZ. Shout out to Alan. Alan, you got to come to Nigeria with me in August. You got to come to Nigeria with me in August, Alan. You need to come on and come. Come on and join us in Nigeria. So, with that being said, let's jump to today's topic. Is there a Western media smear campaign against Ibrahim Traore? And I saw this this news segment, or I guess I don't know, documentary. One of so Ibrahim Traore had an interview with like 4 journalists, and this was I think last week. And so one of the journalists, she like documented her stay in Burkina Faso, and of course she interviewed him, and yeah, let's just what we're gonna do. We're gonna listen. We're gonna watch the documentary. And it's somewhat obvious that there's a smear campaign, and especially you guys know what I think it is, because they always bring this up. They don't bring this up when it comes to countries in the Middle East. They always bring this up when it comes to countries in Africa. Whenever they have a anti-LGBTQ policy, the West, the liberals, not even just the liberals, the West. The Sky News is conservative, but predominantly the West. Then you have Sky News, but they have an agenda. They just get very, very upset when it comes to Africa and its sovereignty and deciding that, listen, we're not going to allow LGBTQ here in Africa. So that's brought up, and of course, him allegedly killing his own people. And so let's go ahead and watch the
For the first time in modern history, college.
French forces and diplomats have been expelled from Burkina Faso since the 2022 coup that brought the African capital city that few outsiders now get to see. In a country recalibrating its place in the world.
We're in Ouagadougou, the bustling capital city of Burkina Faso, a country famously known for arts, culture, and African revolutionary thought. But in recent years, it's become one of the deadliest places in the world for terrorism. The people here are hoping that under the leadership of their
HRW? I don't know. What's HRW?
That they can find sovereignty, security, and freedom from their former colonizer, France.
Burkina Faso has grappled with French control in the decades since independence.
This has nothing to do with LGBTQ. It was brought up in this segment. It was brought up.
The country is now denouncing France and leaning into alternative allies like Russia, led by their young president. French forces and diplomats have been expelled from Burkina Faso since the 2022 coup that brought President Ibrahim Traore into power. This rally is organized by Citizen Watch, a vigilante group shielding their president from counter-coups and assassination attempts.
Après Dieu, c'est Ibrahim Traore.
After God, it's Ibrahim Traore, she says.
After God,
Does everyone here feel the same way?
Est-ce que tout le monde ici est d'accord avec ce qu'elle a dit?
Yes, we.
No elections in Burkina. President for life. I have the chance to meet the man himself and interview him under
No elections. Hold on, what you say? President for life. That's the name of this documentary, President for Life. Again, my only complaints. Don't lash out at me. Don't attack me. My only complaints are him dissolving the opposition parties and him not having elections. And I heard the people have said that they want him to stay. And I'm just saying, I'm asking, how do you quantify the people? That's all I'm asking. But go ahead.
extremely controlled conditions.
We're on our way to interview President Ibrahim Traore for an exclusive roundtable that's been completely engineered by the Presidential Comms Department. Their cameras, their lights, their footage. And in the meantime, I'm cramming my French because we've been told we won't be allowed a translator as hard as we've tried to get one.
Je pense que vous êtes dans le pays qui prône aujourd'hui la souveraineté.
You are the country that today champions sovereignty, national sovereignty, and total independence. Because as you are no doubt aware, our country was colonized like many African countries. But today we are making our voices heard. And so the struggle for sovereignty and independence is therefore the driving force behind our fight.
This is the man Traore models himself on, the founding father of modern-day Burkina Faso, iconic revolutionary Thomas Sankara. Sankara led an anti-imperialist movement in the 80s as president.
Monsieur le Président.
And brought in groundbreaking domestic reform. Decades on, Traore appears to be following in his footsteps by nationalizing key sectors such as gold mining, supported by revolutionary advisors like Luc Damiba.
The first day he take the power, he come here and take the flame of the revolution.
The president moved Sankara's body to be buried here at the site of his assassination, against the wishes of Sankara's surviving family.
What are your thoughts on that? What are your thoughts on Traore moving the burial site of Thomas Sankara to the place where he was assassinated? Is that true? Man, what are your thoughts on that? That's a little extreme, but I mean, I need some clarification. I need to, that sounds kind of, I don't know. That sounds a little extreme. But again, I don't know if it's true or not. I'd like for that to be confirmed, that he moved the body of Thomas Sankara to the actual site where he was assassinated. That doesn't make any sense. But
and launched a nationwide crackdown on dissent as he approached the same age Sankara was when he was killed.
There's a moment you have to be a serious country. When you come, you have a discipline. And this kind of discipline, we don't allow every person to say what he think. He can say that in his private space, but to destabilize the revolution, we don't allow this thing in here.
And is that like, communist China or the Soviet Union? Is that the model?
Yes, why not? We have Cuba, we have Venezuela, we have Iran, we have connect to.
Yeah. I don't support that. Nah, I don't support that at all. Like Venezuela, like Cuba, like Iran, no. Like Russia, like no. I don't support that at all. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. Why do we want to model ourselves after those countries? I completely disagree with that. Why do you want to be like Russia? We already see what's going on with Cuba and Venezuela. I don't understand the infatuation with communism and socialism and Marxism. It's just they've all failed. I don't get the infatuation with them.
This kind of country.
That's the sound of an American oil company hard at work. Want to be a part of it? Listen up.
Hello.
In the last year, Traore has criminalized homosexuality, dissolved political parties and the Electoral Commission, and sent journalists and activists who've spoken critically to the front line of a war against jihadists.
Guys, is that true? The journalists who've criticized them being sent to the front lines? Now, are they being sent to the front lines to document, or are they like, hey, pick up these damn guns, go to the front line and fight? You know, that's my question. Like, to what extent are they being, under what circumstances are they being sent to the front line?
A war shrouded in denial and thousands of civilian deaths. What follows is a question on the war that Traore's team cut from our interview footage that we sourced from the online page of his state broadcaster. Has Russia been effective in helping you fight terrorism?
Russia sucks.
It's true that the Russian President Vladimir Putin wished to provide us with all the resources we needed to fight against terrorism, even with soldiers. But I used to say that we are Burkina Faso. No one will come and fight on our behalf, and that is non-negotiable principle. So Russia has opened doors for us in terms of equipment. They are ready to sell us whatever weapon we want to buy. This is of a great help. Let me tell you that many European countries refuse to sell us weapons, but not Russia. Secondly, we have been sharing with Russia some expertise in terms of war.
And the question is, what weapons is Russia selling to them? The hand-me-downs? You already saw what happened to Venezuela. What weapons are they getting that are on the level to fight the jihadists?
I then asked the president if this approach works, considering that more than 60% of Burkina Faso, a majority of the country, is under jihadist control. He laughs and asks who said that. These are the facts, I say, and they can be found online.
Online, print, online.
En ligne.
En ligne, vérité.
Regarder des informations sur Internet. Ah oui. Voilà, c'est ça, c'est ça.
Ah yes, that's exactly it. It's the same people there, the same media, the same government. They are painting Burkina in the bad light, and that's false. But I'm the head of state. Name a town. There are just a few towns I haven't visited yet. I go everywhere and everyone goes everywhere. They're lying.
These verified online videos of jihadist attacks are the only source of credible visual evidence as Traore's government restricts movement around the country and targets human rights observers. Our own request to travel outside of Ouagadougou was refused. Security analysts and open source investigators estimate that jihadists have a strong presence in around 60% of the country's territory and have verified 1,200 jihadist attacks in Burkina Faso in 2025 that killed over 4,500 people, which includes 3 of the world's deadliest terror attacks of the year, making Burkina Faso the second deadliest place in the world for terrorism in 2025. This map of Burkina Faso with data from expert observers shows an uptick in terrorism from 2019 to 2025, with the darkening shades of brown showing intensifying jihadist attacks since the onset of Traore's military rule.
So we had the attack last month on the Ghanaian tomato seller.
A man who fled his hometown in Islamic State territory to the safety of the capital. We were allowed access to him because he comes from Traore, a town on the border with Niger, a part of the country that Traore admits is rife with terrorists.
Okay, Salam alaikum. Merci beaucoup.
He left behind his farmland, arriving here with his family 8 years ago. well before the president came into power.
We lost everything, our livestock, our crops, etc. But we have to survive, to pay for the house, pay for water, feed the children, find medicines when we are sick, take care of the pregnant women. All this is part of our daily challenges.
Did you witness any terror attacks?
With our very own eyes, we saw them killing people, sometimes 30 people shot before you. When you see that, you better run to save your life.
Do you believe what the government is saying?
Yes, we truly believe what they are saying and that things will be okay, with God's help and the collaboration of the people.
After spending some time in Ouagadougou, it's clear that there's a conflicting reality here. There's the cosmopolitan revolution being endorsed by the government, and then there's the raging jihadist insurgency that's affecting people across the country and even in the suburb, in the capital. While this push for outward geopolitical freedom from the West is happening, there's also an internal freedom that's being taken away. People have told us again and again off camera that they can't stray from the approved narrative.
And that was my concern. So again, when we say the people wanted Traore to stay, how do you quantify that? And I'll say this: I do believe there are people who are afraid to speak out if they disagree with him, which you should be able to.
This is the stark reality lived by many in the capital. Mothers, children, and young men rifling through the rubbish for what they need to survive. You won't see these images in the online videos that hail Traore's success in bringing Burkina Faso out of poverty and despair. All this amid allegations that Russia's advising his government on disinformation campaigns and media manipulation. Is Russia helping you with your image online, I ask?
Why? I don't need that. Africans are already doing it. Many of your people in Europe are already doing it. In America, pretty much everywhere. It used to happen. And even when we were being charged, I had it all shut down. We don't pay for anything anymore.
Why do young people love you so much? I asked President Traore. The captain rattles off progress made in healthcare, agriculture, and infrastructure, and then says, it's not me, the person that they love. It's the ideology they love.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44. Guys,
This love is fueling young people to join volunteer forces, celebrated on national TV as they line up to face the Islamic State and Al-Qaeda-backed jihadists launching attacks across the country. These auxiliary forces are accused of committing atrocities and ethnic violence alongside the military by Human Rights Watch, allegations the government has dismissed as conjecture and unfounded claims. There is no doubt, though, that a nationalist narrative is shaping how young people see the war and driving increasing loyalty for their wartime president.
If we decide to help our president, I think that one day we will get peace in our country.
Are you scared that terrorism could come to Ouagadougou?
yeah, I can say that I'm scared because if it comes in Ouagadougou, like in others towns or villages, a lot of people will die.
These fears are slowly permeating the arts and culture the country is known for. Burkina Faso is the birthplace of African cinema.
The cinema is very important to me because my first film was shown here.
One of the country's leading directors, Apolline Traore, was shortlisted for an Oscar for her film Sarah, about a young woman kidnapped by jihadists, inspired by a mother she met at a refugee camp.
She walked 5 days in the bush to try to get a refugee camp. 5 days with a bullet with 2 kids. And then for me, that was my hero. She didn't have any, and of course she lost her husband, she lost everybody. But I looked at her and it wasn't really revenge that she was looking at. She was looking at to survive. That was the main thing in her eyes.
As one of the leading filmmakers in the country, you're kind of at this vanguard.
between Burkinabe cinema and the West. What's it been like for you?
American gave me the tools of what I needed to make film. Africa gave me the story. Africa gave me the body, you know, and I cannot take away those two cultures. I cannot erase what American gave me because they gave it to me, and I embrace my culture today.
Back at the Citizen Watch rally, Western intervention is staunchly rejected. This is an appeal to all Africans, she says. We must free ourselves. After the euphoria of the day ended, a rally organizer was arrested and died in police custody. The government did not respond staunchly.
The body, you know, and I cannot take away those two cultures. I cannot erase what American gave me because they gave it to me, and I embrace my culture today.
Back at the Citizen Watch rally, Western intervention is staunchly rejected. This is an appeal to all Africans, she says. We must free ourselves. After the euphoria of the day ended, a rally organizer was arrested and died in police custody. The government did not respond to our request for comment.
We were packing to leave, but we've just heard that someone we met on the first day has died, so we're rushing out to film.
A fellow Citizen Watch member was critical of the Minister of Justice online.
I gotta tell you something about her, Diamond, when you're done.
Oh, okay, all right. Let me know. All right.
Nous avons organisé une marche. C'est lui qui parle comme ça.
We were all shocked by the situation because we had organized a demonstration. You can see him in this video. He is the one speaking. You can see me standing in the white clothes. He was in excellent condition, and some days later, we hear about his sudden death. You have to know that every militant, everyone supporting the President Traore is shocked. We had no explanation for what had happened.
It's Friday prayer, and they gather at the mosque near their headquarters to mourn their friend and pray for his soul.
La démocratie tue. Democracy kills. Is that democracy?
I ask him if there's room for individual liberty in his revolution for full sovereignty, the freedom to love who one wants, to express oneself freely, to oppose.
Oh, Lord.
So funny hearing that from a Sudanese person.
The freedom to love.
That's what I'm saying.
They always. I don't know why they lead with that. Like,
yeah, it's a hippie. It's a hit job.
Let me listen to the rest.
His rule.
That's a very patronizing edge about her reporting,
you know? To give their opinion and everything, even on our TV channels.
As he speaks, I'm unable to respond without a translator.
You see people giving their opinions, but freedom has its limit. For example, we are a country at war. We will not allow anyone to demoralize our troops whilst they are on the battlefield. We will not allow that. We will not allow the local lackeys of imperialism among us to try to sabotage our struggle to bring our country back from the clutches of those imperialists.
Human rights defenders have documented hundreds of enforced disappearances since 2023. And even activists who've fled are afraid to speak up online because of the risk of their family members here being targeted. Burkina Faso's most prominent voices are now the loved musicians that keep morale high in these times of uncertainty. We meet top musician Des Altino to see how artists are navigating the terrain.
In my music, I can say whatever I want. I've sung a lot for the country. I don't know about the other artists, but personally, I'm enjoying my freedom of speech. I can express myself through my songs, and that is what really matters to me.
These nighttime gatherings are a sign of the perceived stability that pervades Ouagadougou, a pocket of safety in a country grappling with spreading terrorism, fought by a military that is ushering in an era of dictatorship. Every moment that people can come together is relished, and every moment of pure expression in music and in life is rejoiced. Yusra El-Bagher, Sky News.
All right, go ahead, man.
Okay, so let me tell you about this Sudanese journalist, right? Her name is Yusra Elijah. She's from Sudan, right? The funny part about this is, I just find it ironic that her, as a Muslim, she's gonna go and ask him about the LGBT thing. Now, people gotta understand, it's not him. He did not say that, LGBT is not allowed. The people over there said that they don't want it because they did a poll and it's unfavorable. But yet, when she went to Sudan and she went to interview those journalists in Sudan, she didn't ask that same question. Okay, but about this lady here, right? She went to Burkina Faso and she was told directly that she can't bring no camera equipment. They will record the footage, and when the footage is done, they will send it to her. Right? She was aware of that. She also was aware that when he does his national addresses or when he does his interviews, he speaks French. So when it was time to do the interview, she was saying that she was frustrated because she couldn't understand how that he thought that he was going to speak More, which is one of the languages in Burkina Faso, right? But she said no, it's French. So she went online. She also said that why is he speaking the colonizer language, but she's also speaking the colonizer language. But again, she did the interview, and after she did the interview, she didn't go to Faso Mabel. She didn't go to the hospital. She didn't even go see the electric cars. You know what she did? She went to the garbage dump, which the people pick up the garbage. Because that garbage that she showed is a garbage site where they pick up garbage.
Right.
So she's making it seem that that's what people live in. They don't. And then what she also did was she went to and showed the unpaid roads. And then the abuses she's talking about, right? It's from JNIM. All right. They went to Human Rights Watch and they complained to Human Rights Watch how they getting their butt kicked from the AES, right? And Wasim Nasser, who we spoke about before, went on national television and they put up a video of a JNIM leader that openly, and he said, "Thank you, Human Rights Watch, for putting our story out." Now, tell me, when the hell have you ever seen a terrorist group thank a non NGO organization? Have you ever seen that before?
No.
No, exactly, because they're paid to do that, right? And then also, she also put out, if you look at the comment section, a lot of Burkina Faso are ripping her to shreds. So she got so much backlash, right? The first video that got put out, she put footage of Mali and I think Benin in that footage. So she has so much backlash on that video, they deleted the video and then re-uploaded it again, right? Because they said it was an error. And as you know, no one does not delete a video because of two clips, right? You will have to make like an edit, but they didn't do that, right? So what they also did was they put out another video because she got so much backlash that she interviewed another Burkina Faso. His name was Mohammed Kita, right? She said that, oh, I'm not from the area. They're calling me names, so I'm going to put you on since you're the expert. You know more about me. She interviewed Mohammed Kita, and then he said that, oh, well, if they're very sovereign, they will work on a currency, but apparently they're still on the CFA currency. Anyone that study economics is if you're going to a currency change, you don't change the currency right away, especially if it's been there for 60 years. They're working on it, but it seems that they want them just to hurry up and just change the currency because if they change the currency overnight, the economy is going to collapse because it's different stages and different phases. Because the euro, same thing happened with the euro. When they went and they did the euro in Europe, it almost collapsed, and it took some time. But again, as far as the Human Rights Watch, Brother Dynas, I don't know if you got my message on Facebook. I sent you the video with Natalie Yam. It's in English. If you could play it for me tonight, I would appreciate it. She goes into detail. She names all the people that's behind Human Rights Watch. And the person that's behind, who's the director currently, is an ex-DGSE agent. Right now, that runs the Human Rights Watch. So what they're doing now
What's
is they're doing
what's DSH3?
It's
What's
the
that?
French equivalent of the CIA, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, so that guy, the director there, he used to work with France 24 and also RFI and other French networks. So they're doing this hit piece because what they're trying to do is they're trying to send IB to the ICC and saying that how there's abuses. Because first they said, oh, they're targeting the Fulani, but the problem is that one of the generals is Fulani itself, and one of the VDPs, they have certain like towns. Like for example, I'm Mandinka, right? my village will be mostly visual Mandinka people. So of course the people in that village would be mostly the BDPs would be Mandinka, right? And then they say there's another village here is Fulani. So those BDP people will be Fulani. So how is it that you have Fulani BDPs fighting in JNM, right? So it cannot be ethnic
All right,
against
20
ethnic.
seconds. 20 seconds on the
Okay,
pass.
it can't. Okay, so it can't be an ethnic against an ethnic type thing, right? But what they're trying to do, like I said, they're trying to bring this to the ICC, and they're trying to get this put sanctions and put economic pressure because they can't get inside. But the problem is that they need physical evidence, and they're not in there. They have no office, they have no locations. It's just witness
Okay, let me
testimony from 20 people.
let me pass the mic to Elvis. Go ahead, Elvis.
All right, thank you, Dinus. Hello to you in the panel and the chat. Look, I think there is a bias, especially with Western media. And I was watching this guy on YouTube, Simon Wessler, this British guy who has like visual politics, and I listened to his reporting, and it sounded biased. And then I went to some other sources, and I heard similar information, like what Mansik was just saying. And this is something I hadn't heard before, and that is that the government forces, whether by direct command, they too are committing atrocities in some of these villages, that are kind of a hotbed of terrorism. And in the African context, it sounds plausible. And here's why I would say it, because it's not that the president is telling these guys to go in there and kill people, but some of these military guys or adjacent, militia groups that works with the government, sometimes they feel like the people that live in that area are probably collaborating with the terrorists. And sometimes when they go in there, they maybe not, they're not giving them the information on how to get the terrorists, or giving them, intel. And sometimes people get frustrated and they might kill a few people. So I'm not saying that this is true, but it's not it's not impossible. But that's something that I've never heard, about Traore. But when I went to multiple sources, I started hearing is that they're targeting certain, villages and accusing them of, of being compromised and working with the terrorist groups. So that was new information for me. But the other things that I heard was, was very disparaging of Traore. My main point here with Traore is that even with the Burkina Faso issue, look, for people to say that everything that the lady said is a lie, it's not true. We know that there are some form of, freedom of speech being stifled in the country. That's a fact. We can see it. We saw that he blatantly said that he's doing away with democracy because he's at war. He could be at war perpetually. That's a fact. So to say that Burkina Faso is some kind of free country where everybody has the right to speak and people who criticize the government are not, intimidated or even arrested, that's not true. So you can't just poo-poo everything that she said, because some of these things are actually true. And I know there was one case of a guy, I don't know if he was a journalist or a doctor, who had been openly criticizing Traore and his approach to fighting the terrorists, and he was sent to the front lines. Now, some people say there are other cases, but I only know about that one guy who, Traore in his statement pretty much said, well, if you think you can do better, you go there and fight them. And he pretty much sent the guy to the front line. So those kinds of things have been happening. So not everything she said was 100% accurate, but you can't say that some of the things that she claimed is happening is not happening. And secondly, this is a military dictatorship. This is something of a junta. And usually when military comes into power, they use military force to oppress and to suppress dissent, amongst its people. And that's exactly what's happening in the country. Now, I get it. They're fighting terrorism. At one point, even people from Burkina Faso said that 60% of the country was, being held by the jihadists and the terrorists. And that was before, Traore came, presumably. And now that he's there, they've taken a lot of the land back. So when the lady quoted that 60% was taken, maybe he should have said, well, that was before, but now we've reclaimed, maybe we have 70%, it's only 30% that's held by the terrorists. But these things are not far-fetched. These are information that was out there. And the point here is that, for me personally, I criticize Traore because he was dishonest to the people. And you said this too, Dinus. When you say that people want you to stay, and thereby the promise that you made to them, you're no longer going to keep it because a few people around you who are looking for self-preservation and proximity to your orbit of power are telling you that the people want you to stay, even though it's never been voted on. You don't know if it's the majority of the people or just a few group of people from your ethnic group or from your region that wants you to stay, and you assume that's what the entire country wants, and you extend your time in office, you disband political parties. If it smells like a dictatorship and it looks like a dictatorship, that's exactly what it is. And again, this idea that he's fighting terrorists and he's making gains, fine, we'll accept that. But one of the things that's not allowed is journalists being able to freely enter the country and film and show what's really going on. It's like somebody said, well, he said, give us your camera, we will film it, and then we will send it to you after it's done. That's some North Korea type shit right there. That's what they're doing in North Korea. They give you a handler, they pretty much supervise everything you do, and then they scrub it. The things that they don't like, they take it out. So you're not getting the unadulterated, facts on the ground. We're Africans. We want Burkina Faso to be, in a better position. But don't insult our intelligence by telling us lies to our faces and expect us to accept it because we want to be, in unity with other Africans. The reality is he's a military dictator. I'm sure he's doing some good things, and I'm sure, part of that consequence is that the human rights and the freedom of speech of the people in the country is also
Elvis, I got a
being
question for
oppressed.
you.
I'll pass the mic. But you can ask your question.
Okay, so you are aware with Israel, right? They were banning footage of people recording, and also in the UAE, right? So
Yeah, and that's wrong.
I just want to make sure. So, do you feel that same type of way with Israel
Yes.
in the Middle East,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So how come there was no blowback with the Middle East?
There is blowback. There is blowback, bro. People like Piers Morgan, other journalists who've been criticizing Israel, that they definitely have something to hide. They committed a genocide, and they don't want the journalists to go in there and see the facts. So when somebody is hiding, stopping you from having access to the ground, especially in the war zone, they definitely have something to hide. So if a president or a military ruler is telling you can't come here freely and film freely, and you can't move around freely, there's definitely they're trying to hide something or they're trying to control something. You're smart enough. You can understand that. You can go to Liberia right now. You can go to Ghana. Nobody's going to tell you, well, you can't film in our crowd because the military is stopping you or restricting you. Those are free countries.
That's a lie.
Okay.
Elvis, in Ghana, even bloggers are being arrested. Bloggers, ordinary bloggers on social media ranting off for being arrested. Sometimes you guys need to get your facts before you come.
Being arrested for what?
For speaking against the government, for sometimes complaining about things the government is doing that they're not happy about. They've been arrested.
Okay.
I'm in Ghana. Please.
Yeah,
this current new government, there is no democracy in Africa. If you believe there is democracy in Africa, you are deluding yourself. There is no democracy. Now, that doesn't mean I don't support a proper democratic dispensation, but there isn't any. Okay? You have a government in there. I'll just give you one example, like Cameroon. Look how long this guy's been there. There is an ongoing situation with this so-called Francophones and Anglophone, or whatever they call themselves. And these are the same people. But one was somehow colonized by the French, and the other was by English. And there's a huge atrocities going on there. And I don't see this woman, this lying woman. She's a liar. I've listened to a lot of her reporting, and I find her that she's always reporting to a certain narrative, playing to, some a playbook kind of reporting that she does. Okay. And there's a huge atrocities going on in Cameroon, in those places, and I don't see the Western media going on about it. Let's look at what happened in Tanzania recently. They had these so-called elections where people were angry. They just went out to say people should boycott the election. They came out in their drove, and hundreds were massacred in Tanzania by this so-called democratic dispensation government. And what did she do? No, come on now, let me finish. She blocked the internet. She shut down everything. People were not being allowed to report. They went around to people's houses and killed and molested and abused and did all sorts of things. This is a so-called. And she had her inauguration at a military barracks. She couldn't even face her people. Okay, so don't tell me that I'm not saying that everything is perfect in Burkina Faso. It isn't. Nothing is perfect in the Sahel, and that is why they are in the situation they're in. They had this so-called democratic government, and the situation got worse and worse and worse. Sometimes you should listen to. I'll just use Ibrahim as an example. Listen to his statement that he made. He was a military guy at the front, literally fighting, and he was saying that at some point they have their munitions were so low that even the terrorists knew when they were going to come out to face them, and they were often surviving on their wits. And this was democratic government that was not resourcing the military well for them to stand up for their people. Okay, I'm not saying that everything is perfect, but this Western media that constantly have this bad agenda, bad narrative about Africans doing this. There is a situation in Ukraine. You can't film everywhere. Ukraine government will tell you where you can film and where you cannot film. So why is it the African government that they claim? They're claiming that about 60% of the country is under terrorists, under terrorism rule, the insurgents, and then the government tell you can go and film that, and you come here and make an
because Ukraine is not telling you that they're improving, their economy is doing so well, everything is all great in the country, and the leader is doing great things. They're telling you they're at war. They're not propagating that everything is stable in their country.
How do you know? How do you know, though?
How do you know
Ukraine is running your mouth? You don't know nothing.
Listen to what the Ukrainians
is that what Ukrainians are telling you? Have you ever heard Ukrainians telling you that everything is good in their country? You've never heard that.
How do you know?
They're not lying to the world and telling them that things are good and their leader is doing so well.
Come on, man, you up here?
They're in the active war and the entire country is destroyed. They're never telling you that things that good is good in their country.
And Mali is not at war? What do you think is going? Do you think these insurgents are not being well resourced? Even Traore once said that sometimes when they manage to, out of their own wits, they overpower this insurgent. The kind of ammunition that the insurgents were holding, even he as a military man for the Burkina Faso army, he used to marvel at the kind of weaponry they were holding. Recently, they found out that some of the weaponry that when they overpower these insurgents, that they come in, the weapons that they'll retrieve from them, they were NATO grade weaponry that apparently went through Ukraine. Elvis, get your facts right before you come here, okay?
Exactly.
Don't come and pull the wool over our eyes and tell us that all the other people, what they're doing is perfect and everything else. These guys are trying to survive. Look at Mali, for instance. A few months ago, there was all this report about, Bamako was going to be overrun. Bamako was being taken. And you could see the glee in these reporters that were reporting from Europe, particularly that French station was reporting with such glee that they were looking forward for Bamako to be overrun. You see, and these people, they don't mean any well for these countries. Because they have fed up them, they're constantly going on about, these Sahelian countries are the most poorest in the poor, but yet they were feeding of them, they were stealing their resources. How you end up being colluded with the help of our own colluded people. So how on earth do you expect? And this war they are fighting, do you know the amount of money that is taken from them? That money could have been going to building hospitals and building roads and creating job opportunities for the people. But they have to spend it on the war in order for them to survive. And you sit here, you listen to this foreign, Western crap propaganda talking about this girl is the most useless person I've ever. I don't like her reporting anyway. It's not just about what she did in Burkina. She had this air of superior. She's from this so-called Arab northern Sudanese, you know. And you know these people, you know what they're doing to the other indigenous Africans there, don't you? So please don't go on. Don't go and tell me that she has anything. Sorry.
Elvis, hold on, Elvis, you need to explain. Hold up, Elvis, you need to explain why terrorists are being given any chance to speak out. When has that ever happened? Can you explain that?
Human Rights Watch in France 24.
Are you?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I remember when there was a time when al-Baghdadi and Bin Laden used to have interviews, and people used to interview them, even though they're terrorists, heads of terrorist organization, and it would be played on CNN.
That's a good point. Even Mexican cartel leaders were interviewed. So you got a point.
I mean, come on, man. You guys, you're not talking to stupid people, bro. I'm telling you.
No,
Yeah,
but
fine.
they did interview Bin Laden. Bin Laden was definitely interviewed several times.
Who interviewed him?
Okay, bro. We're not just kids. We're not just coming in the scenes.
Drop the link.
We've seen the Bin Laden being interviewed on CNN, on BBC. We've seen it all around.
It was not CNN that he got interviewed.
Giannis dropped the link because anytime people heard from Bin Laden was when he
but I
releasing
don't
them
think
videos.
interview is that a big problem because interviewing someone just get to know what they after.
What's your point, DMV Pan? I gotta pass it after Africa.
I'm saying the fact that they are even going and having these terrorists sit down and then they're interviewing them, that doesn't happen.
But that's not a problem at all.
Hold on, CD. Hold on, terrorists. DMV Pat, who was they? Because I've seen.
He's talking about He's talking about one of the leaders from JNIM that did a terrorist attack in Mali, and French went and flew him to France to do an interview. That would never happen with no other network. Especially
do you know that
Mansik,
Yasser Arafat, the leader of the PLO, right?
Is it now the same people that our partner went to fight when they came to Burkina Faso?
He was having conversation with presidents.
Aren't they the same people that are coming to Burkina Faso telling people they want to fight them?
Exactly.
Our own partner are welcoming our enemy, and in the meantime telling us they're coming to our land to fight the same people. How does that work?
Yasser Arafat was a terrorist leader.
I gotta pass
interview all around the world.
I gotta pass the mic to Africa. Go to Africa.
Yeah, greetings, family. Great show again. You know, I hope everyone had a great one since the last amazing show that we had. Yeah, so basically, as we always say, you know, sometime, you know, when the country is at war, you know, majority of the people that suffer are the civilians. You know, it's we need to put that at the back of our minds. You know, Elvis, you yourself, you've been at war in Liberia. You know, there's so many people who were killed during the war. So many people lost their life. As I said the last time, when the rebels entered Freetown, majority of the people that was killed, they was killed by the ECOMOG. Sometimes willfully, sometimes unwillfully. You know, because when they actually face a heavy battle, civilians will lose their life. And for me, what I see going on in Burkina Faso at the moment is a short-term pain, long-term gain. You know, I know. As Mansa said earlier, I totally agree with him that some of these things are not as easy as it look on the media, because these people some of the people are fighting the battle on the other side, I also have their people fighting the battle on the other side. You know, they know what's going on. So when the media goes in, they're probably just looking at things from the surface, not from within. And for me, if these guys on the battlefield are doing they're doing it the hard way, which I think that's what happened most of the time when we have a war, to get general peace and regain much of the territory that have been lost by jihadis, so the people can go back to their ancestral home and they can have peace in the long run. Because when I was young, I never thought I would ever return back to my country. We can actually rebuild. We did lost family members. I never thought that would happen. But today, when I look back, I give these soldiers who are fighting, who have fought and lost their life, some of them for the country, I give them credit, because they are the one that made that happen. So this is war. It's not easy thing. And, it's something that's kind of be personal to me also, So let's bear that in mind. And absolutely, I hope, Burkina Faso and the Sahel find peace and peace reign in the region, and peace reign in the region. And we also rebuild that region, because that is one of the most important regions in West Africa. They used to call it the Sweet Sahel. The Sweet Sahel is where we build most of our empires in Africa. It's where people travel from all over the world, in the ancient world, to come and see wonders of the continent, how sophisticated these people were, these tribes that actually are in this situation today. If you go back, you read their history, and you look at the region today, you feel even more sad. They're great people. We need to bear that in mind also. When we talk about the LGBT. God, we know for a fact that anywhere they can't get their way, there's a problem. And for some reason, as Diana said, they always tend to be forcing this thing in us in Africa. I mean, there's so many countries in the Middle East, you wouldn't even dare talk about this. You face a heavy penalty for, in fact, promoting LGBT. But for some reason, they are trying it so hard to shove it down our throat in the region, in the region of Africa and into black people. Why is that? Why can't they just for once respect African continent and say, look, these people, they culturally are not part of this. They don't want it in their continent. Let's respect them. And you never seen African people, like for example, in you never see African government or African killing people of homosexuals or a lesbian or stuff like that. They probably exist somewhere, but you never see them being killed and being targeted like the Middle Eastern country. If they're so desperate to actually promote this thing and helping those people, why didn't they go to the Middle East and start doing it there, where these people's lives are much more in danger? I'll pass the mic for now. Thank you, Dennis.
All right, let me read this super chat. Philly Yardy Vibes 808. Thank you for 1999 holla. Can you bench Elvis, please? Loud for loud, he's an agent. Elvis ain't an agent. All right. Just because someone disagrees with you or you don't agree with someone doesn't make them an agent. All right, go ahead, DMV Pat.
Yeah, I got a question for you, Donis.
Go ahead.
Why is it that you have this problem with Traore, but you don't have this issue with your boy Kagame? He's a military man. He's been in power since after the genocide in Rwanda. He locks up opposition. He always wins votes by 90%. We know that doesn't happen in real elections, but you never say anything. The Western media that's on Traore right now, they don't ever say anything about that. I'm just
they definitely grill.
They started going on him recently. They started going on him recently. They started going on him recently, but they not doing what they doing to Traore, to him.
They definitely grill Kagame.
No, they not. No, they're not. Come on, man. There are no stories about him. They always talk about
we have in the
being
past.
all clean. That's all they talk about.
They criticized Kagame for arresting the guy from Hotel Rwanda and prosecuting him as being part of the genocide.
Hell, I grilled Kagame for arresting that beautiful girl that had on that see-through lace sequence at the concert. Like, I was pissed off about that.
But can you imagine if Traore is doing that? They would be.
There was a woman that came, stood out in Rwanda. She was, I've forgotten her name. She was sort of set herself up as an opposition leader to Paul Kagame from the same trap as Paul Kagame. She was arrested, brutalized, and somewhere along the line, the woman died mysteriously. That's Paul Kagame.
But yeah, a lot of African praise Kagame as being a good leader. I criticize him. I'm consistent on that. I criticize Kagame.
We criticize Kagame.
Not on him.
Not
on him. You have more lives about Traore than you did about Kagame.
We have criticized him here on Congo, and then we came back and criticized Congo, for some of their stuff that they don't, So we have, if you listen to the show,
y'all not consistent with the way y'all talk about.
I just had like 10 shows about Rwanda.
Yeah, DV Pat. I've had like 10 shows. I've had more shows on Kagame than I've had on Traore.
Yeah,
I must have missed them.
You missed them. You definitely missed them.
Yeah. We had guys from Congo another time who came to counteract us, and then we have someone who went to a Ghanaian brother who went to Rwanda, who was actually talking against the guy from Congo. So that's the last two shows we had about.
Omkar is the Congolese guy.
Yeah, and Mkal, Mkal and the guy from Ghana. So there was both, having an argument. So yeah, we have in the past. And I also said Kagame was a bit of sellout for accepting refugees to Africa while he refused to do that with other Africans.
The only thing I've said to criticize Traore is I think he should hold elections.
Why?
I disagree with him. I disagree with him dissolving the political parties.
Why?
Because the Constitution says that it's a republic.
I disagree with it.
Burkina Faso is a republic. They're supposed to have elections. What do you mean? Why?
How you gonna put a country together?
Yeah.
You keep having elections every 4 years. Person who wins is gonna have a different idea.
Hold on, DV Pat, I'm saying that because that's what he said he was gonna do. That's all he said.
It wasn't working. And you see how many spies that he got up by the government.
How many who?
It's still rotten. They're still the whole system is rotten. He can't have elections when people are still in place from the previous regimes. He's got to clear the whole thing out.
When this terrorism finish, and there's peace back in the Sahel, the farmer will go back to sleep, and the Mansa will take over. This is a whole system of rulership in the South African history. This got nothing to do with democracy, got nothing to do with Western ideology. It's an all African system that's in play.
Africa. Burkina Faso was in the street calling for election. They were so happy they got a chance to elect a new president, I think in 2015. They were so happy for having that option. So now you're telling them that they shouldn't want to have a... You can't disenfranchise the people.
All right, got. Hold on. Let DMV Pat finish. I got to pass it to CD. DMV Pat, you got a minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's just weird. You trying to have elections when you see what's happening around you. They're surrounding you. You got the U.S. and Nigeria. Nigeria's selling out. They're gonna help them. You got French.
DMV Pat, you got to watch bubblegum at the same time. They ain't going nowhere. Nigeria ain't going nowhere. The U.S. ain't going nowhere. It's just they
let them in there, but they ain't even let them in. They just
they're not going nowhere. And in fact, DMV Pat, they just signed a deal with the United States of America for healthcare. So I mean, they're not going nowhere.
Healthcare. That's crazy. I mean, healthcare and having the military is two different things.
It don't matter.
Nigerian Air Force have just killed 200 civilians in Borno strike, and that's we're talking about Nigerian, and that's a civilian government, not a military government. They just killed 200 civilians in Borno.
Is the Western media attacking them?
Exactly. That's exactly. So this is the problem, and also, it's a problem we have in the region, and our leaders and our civilian governments who are, I think, are the biggest sellout.
Hey, before you talk to DMV, I got to pass the mic. After DMV Pat, 30 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, and speaking of having these elections, look what's happening in Cameroon.
DMV Pat,
he's picking the president.
DMV Pat, I'm very aware. So my point is,
what are we doing?
Traore just to say, hey, I'm supreme leader, ain't no elections, I'm here forever until I decide I'm gonna leave and be done with it. That's all.
But Donis, he did say that, but he said that he wouldn't happen the term for 5 years. That's what he said.
It wouldn't happen if he does that. If he does that, he will get taken out by another military guy. Okay, this is a farmer. Farmer in West Africa has always been like that. He says, this is what I'm trying to say to you guys. I wish you can study the West African rulership system. That would make life so easier for you guys. The farmer and the Mansa, they're two systems that's always against one another, and always you got the moral. Because right now it's a moral leadership, and they have collapsed. Okay. And now we have, for example, what you call terrorism and other things in play. So the people that we have who are the traditional rulers and the people who held these things together, also they have been sidelined because of the insecurity. So when they bring these insecurities down, okay, that will come to our play. Traore will look at the situation and be like, right, even the guys in the AES will be like, right, there's no point me being this military guy anymore. I'm gonna pass it on, and it will be.
I gotta pass the mic because you got.
Right. Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, CD.
Yeah, hi everybody. So
hey,
I'm a big fan of democracy. I'm not a supporter of military government, but at the same time, we we have to make comparisons sometimes what the West really wants, specifically France, right? The guy who reported on Dumbuya, he is a human rights executive director of Philips. He's French, right? He had a lot of negativity about Traore, right? If you look at Alassane Ouattara and Mamadi Doumbouya of Guinea, Alassane Ouattara of Ivory Coast, yeah, these guys, we speak the same language. We Alassane, or this guy, or Assimi Kouta. I could be trouble in that situation, but when you compare the realities, this Doumbouya, he banned all the political party, like the Selu Darling party, or he closed down all the journalists. Alassane Ouattara did the same thing. He banned Laurent Gbagbo and made his brother defense minister and the vice president of the country, Ibrahim Ouattara.
And Patrice Talon too.
Right. So if you make that comparison to what Traore is doing, I don't think this is about democracy at all. So even that is when you go back to the history, how OE was founded. So technically, the person that founded OE was Tolbert, William R. Tolbert, in 1959. So when they had the first conference in San Nicolas, Nima County, that's my bones town, is a mining city. So he invited this guy, Sekou Touré, Kwame Nkrumah, and Tolbert in 1959. That was the technical aspect of OEU before they founded in 1963. So after that, then they had OEU conference in 1979 in Monrovia, right? So when Tolbert shifted away from traditional pro-Western and toward more radical Pan-Africans, they targeted him, right? So that's how the whole Liberia coup d'etat came about. So they killed him, and they brought, because he shifted, his speech was against 1973 when he spoke against Israel, and also apartheid system in South Africa at the United Nations. In 1979, in 1980, they killed him, right, by the CIA. And everything, this all was done during Ronald Reagan time. That's why Republicans, they have eliminated a lot of African leaders than Democrat. So they invited this guy, Samuel Doe, to the White House with Ronald Reagan. So technically, they destroyed Liberia completely, right? After that 1980 coup in 1981 and 1982, they withdrew the U.S. currency, right? And all these guys started killing each other. So when you look at all these things that happen in Africa, how Thomas Sankara spoke at the United Nations, and he was a target, same way as how they killed Tolbert, right? If Tolbert were to remain in power and linking African Americans with African nation, Tolbert was the most powerful African leader at that time. That would be a big breakthrough for African people. Could you imagine linking African Americans with the African nation? That would be a big win for us. But at the same time, during those times, that was the time they were infiltrating the Black community with drugs, the Republicans, right? So the whole aspect of, going after Traore to say he's a war criminal, these are just, I've been saying this, I'm not a big fan of military government, but this is all like they just trying to eliminate this guy. This is not about democracy at all. You got to remember, Mali have free and fair. Mali have complete democracy. Too many true. He was a military guy. He had free and fair election. He came back. He won the election. So when he refused to support the West by invading Libya, they eliminated him. They got rid of him. That's why Mali is in a chaos right now, right? So the whole thing, we the African got to figure out what's the best thing for us. You cannot depend on Ghana. You cannot depend on Nigeria, because Ghanaian president stood up to Anthony Blinken and told him that Sahel are the one that threat to Ghana, right? Tinubu just came from this place, from England. He accused the Sahel nations. So what can we do? Can you depend on democracy? But these two countries that have practicing democracy right now, and they are big sellout. So you can. They are not reliable people that we should depend on. If we can find other means to free Africa, but this has been going on for years.
CD, 30 seconds. I gotta pass the mic.
Right. So this thing been going on for years. So black struggle is not about one nation. That's why when you see FBA speaking against African, this is a big win for the West, because Africa being a target for years, right? So every African nation that's try to stand up to the West, they try to come in and destroy that country. They love country like Ghana, of course, yes, because they know the country is not going to go anywhere. All the president elect, they are all sycophant. Think someone like Tinubu is already been compromised. So
let me read this super chat. I gotta pass the mic. FBA line, thank you for 499 holla. Bro, Kagame has been president for over 25 years. What is democratic about that? I get it. I get it. Go ahead, anti-moralist.
Yeah, so
I gotta pass the mic to anti-moralist. Go ahead, anti-moralist.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna be honest, bro. I'm noticing a pattern here is that when people look at Burkina Faso, they kind of demand a level of performance or proof that they to other countries that are in similar wartime conditions. If a country like Ukraine can delay elections, centralize power, and restrict speech, which they have, that's understandable. But all of a sudden, Burkina Faso is. I get it.
Who said it was understandable in Ukraine?
That's what nobody's complaining about Ukraine. They're not doing it. They don't have elections because they're in a war right now. That's why. It's as simple as that. And here's the thing: they're in a war. They're fighting for their
great point.
Yeah,
great
they're
point.
fighting for their homeland. Yeah. Listen, I don't care much about Kenya. For their perspective, if you're Ukrainian, you're fighting for your homeland. I get it. There's no time for election. The same thing I can look at it at this point of view. And I'm also paying attention who is making this criticism, because a lot of the loudest voices criticizing Burkina Faso, Mali, and kind of the broader AES come from media analysts who are from like Western or French perspectives. Now, that doesn't mean they're automatically wrong, but it does factor in what incentives they have. Like, you've been there, France, for so long, and then all of a sudden, now when you left, when Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, I don't want anything to do with you. They don't say they want revenge, by the way. They just say they don't want to deal with you. They nationalize your name in Niger and things like that. Then all of a sudden, you kind of get this influx of bad press. You gotta be stupid not to notice. Let's just listen. Call him a dictator. That's fine. I don't really care. Like somebody mentioned here, Tanzania doesn't have election. Yeah, you're right. We know that she was a sham, but there's a reason why. Even though we hear a lot of people protest, a lot of people do not protest. Okay, because at the end of the day, most people in Tanzania always have been choosing stability more than anything else. Now, that doesn't mean they hate the idea of elections, but they prefer stability over anything else. Because the other person who was running, the reason they didn't care about it, because that person wanted to turn things like, more like Kenya in terms of investment, which, hey, I get it, but he was trying to liberalize a lot of our institution and even playing into the EU about allowing certain cultural differences. That was not going to fly, okay? We're a secular nation, but that gay shit was just not going to fly. It's as simple as that. Now, another thing is that I'm also noticing the Kagame line is that Kagame has been criticized, yes, but he's been criticized far more intensively lately in a lot of these Western organizations. Now, recently, Kagame has ended his contract with the EU in the Cabo Delgado region in Mozambique. Why? Because there's an LNG investment by Total Energy, which is a French company that supplies a lot of LNG to Europe and France, right? And ever since that, they said, hey, listen, you're going to have to kind of pay me more. The contract ended. He was withdrawing his troops and things like that. They've been very much increasing their negative press about Kagame. Again, I really hate him. I don't like him. I'm indifferent with him. But I can't say he made his country clean. He's made his country stable. And again, to us, stability mattered more. Okay? Rwandans, if you ask Rwandans, they don't have a problem with him because, again, okay, do you want to go to this? Or because what reference point do they have? They have a reference point of a genocide. Okay? Hopefully YouTube doesn't knock you out. I heard that word can be a YouTube ban. My apologies. But they have that reference point. So they don't have any other reference point. Now, again, they could allow all those elections because he made a promise, fine. But I think another fact is that this Ibrahim Traore is also very popular, and not as a political figure. The United States has admitted that, and the French have admitted that the idea of Pan-Africanism in general, they treat it as a threat. Okay? Because one, when you look at Ibrahim Traore, let's say he's a dictator, but he revels the speech of Pan-African. That matters. Why? Because it's shaping narrative. You don't start with quiet cases. You go after the one that's getting the attention the most, the one that people are sharing. Because they went to Ibrahim Traore. They could have gone for specifically for Assimi Goita or Chiani. They could have gone for them, but they went for specifically Ibrahim Traore. Not like he's not doing his thing, but I'm looking at that and I'm saying they could focus on other countries in the region, but they spotlight him because his influence is strong. When you become a rallying point, whether people agree with you or not, everything he does is viewed at a more high definition lens, let's just say. And my point is that Pan-Africanism, historically, whether Ibrahim Traore is using this Pan-Africanism as he actually believes it or not, I can't prove that. But historically, it's been viewed by suspicion by a lot of powerful states like the United States, France. Even if Pan-Africanism isn't inherently anti-Western, because Pan-Africanism has never been anti-Western, it can be perceived that way when it emphasizes things like sovereignty and collective bargaining. The idea that, hey, instead of like me and you like arguing differently about what we're selling, let's come together and control the price. Like when you look at the OPEC nations when they control oil. Imagine if you do something similar to that. That's why you can't fall. You have to break them apart separately. But that's why Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso are kind of stronger together than they will be by alone. That's why Mali intervened and tried to help Niger when they were threatening Niger. Okay? And also, at the same time, there's a generation frustration underneath all of that. The young people, again, this is no offense to, but a lot of you old people, you trusted the Western institutions and they failed you, and we're just the young people that are going to say, listen, maybe democracy is bad. It's good. We don't care. Simply put, whether democracy or not democracy, they're judging by the outcomes: job, security, food, stability, and sovereignty. And if those things haven't materialized in your entire lifetime, and there hasn't been more open alternative, then I'm only going to look at one country that is actually putting up a fight, and I'm going to support it. It's as simple as that. You don't have to convince me.
All right, so you got 30 seconds. I got to pass the mic. Got to read the super chat.
Sure thing. All I say is that doesn't mean. No, listen. All I'm saying is that doesn't mean every criticism is fake. But again, history has shown that same thing. That the CIA don't like Pan-Africanism, the French don't like Pan-Africanism. But simply put, even if you're right, how do you convince those young people they're right? You can't. And that's the thing. They're tired. So that's my
okay. All right, let me read the super chats. FBA Online. Okay, I already read that one. FBA Online, thank you for 49 holla. Burkina Faso has more food security than Nigeria since Traore took office. I mean, that's probably the truth. I'm not gonna debate that. I'm not gonna argue with that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to also make aware that, do you know that now they're funding a new movement called the Alliance of Democrats from the Sahel? So now this is supposed to be a
I saw that, but I gotta read more information on that.
Okay.
You said the Alliance of the Democrats for the Sahel.
Yeah, so pretty much they're trying to counter the AES, and they're funded by France. Because if you look at the person who created the group, he's from France.
Okay. Go ahead.
No surprise.
Go ahead, Jay James.
Hi, Dennis. Thanks for having me. I saw that you suppressed the show. If I'm not mistaken, I thought you wasn't going to come back, but you know.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about, Jay James.
I saw the thumbnail and then it disappeared. I don't know if I was looking at the right thing.
Yeah, I don't know. Go ahead.
Okay, you promised us you were going to do a show about Liberia, and I understand why you skipped it. That's fine.
Yeah, that's true actually.
That was about the person that was coming on. I'll have her on next week. They'll come on about Liberia.
Right. That's fine. You know, yeah, shout out to everybody. You know, I see my guy, man's sake, and the lady that came to Burkina Faso lately is a blessing for us, man. And I was listening to shows in Burkina Faso, and pretty much, she fall into the own traps. That was basically what Traore was telling us, that the moment that you start doing the right thing, everybody's going to come at you. And now we have an example to show the Burkina-based people this is what we're exactly talking about. And she did that. You see what I'm saying? So I listened to the interview, and Traore he spoke many languages, but he never, like, when he does those interviews, he always speak in French. So that's part of what he always did. Her bringing her own camera, I don't know what she's talking about. The show was live to everybody. It was broadcast for everybody. So I don't know what she's talking about, her own camera. Traore told her, you can go where you want to go, right? And I'm asking you, Donis, there are a lot of YouTubers that went to Burkina Faso that didn't meet Traore, and they traveled within Burkina Faso. How come?
Hold on. When you say I think her thing was within. She couldn't leave Ouagadougou. So what YouTube?
Wodemaya came to Burkina Faso in Ouagadougou. Traveled by road to Bobo Dioulasso. You know how many city he crossed to get to Bobo Dioulasso? He didn't meet Traore. Nobody gave him the permission for. Did he require permission for that? No. There are other YouTubers that are coming out. Believe it, they traveled by road. There are Ghanaian YouTubers coming to Burkina Faso by road. You know how many city they have to travel across to get to Ouagadougou. Right. So I mean, it's like when you listen to what she said, right? That's what I said. We got thick skin, and some people don't, right? So when I saw, I was like, we were laughing. Even today, when I watched the news in Burkina, they were laughing at her. Like, are you serious? Like, this is what you got? Seriously? And the people that requested. When we have those kind of meeting with the president, we have international broadcast, the news folks to come over there to interview. Journalists in Burkina Faso requested that to the president. That's why you see the other guy, the short guy that was sitting there, from Togo. He's from Togo. He's not even from Burkina. He's from Togo. There was another guy who was from Italy that was there too. So this is something new that we are trying, so we can invite everybody to come over, even all the naysayers, so that they can get a shot at Burkina Faso, go in and report. And when she got there, she couldn't get nobody to speak ill of Traore. Why? Now she turned around and lied off camera. People talk, but when she has the camera on, people don't talk. I'm like, she is such a liar. She couldn't get nobody. She interviewed Desalino. Desalino is a supporter of Traore, the guy that was singing. And she was trying to act like the guy was sad and he just want to, express his feeling through music. The guy is a #1 supporter of Traore. How the heck? She doesn't know that. Of course she doesn't. We know. And that's why we laugh at it. She tried to get footage of people who gonna, talk ill of Traore. She couldn't get it. That's why she cut the visit short and left. We didn't do anything to her. It was like, okay, go do whatever. Why she get to keep the footage where she's talking ill about the country? So if we were that bad, we could have kept that footage too, right? So she was able to take that, right? And then when she get wherever she was going to, now she's talking ill of the country, and we know this is not going to take us anywhere. As far as Human Rights Watch, right? You are getting ready to go to Ivory Coast. Let me ask you a question. Remember in 2011, there was an election in Ivory Coast. There was a brutal election. Over 3,000 people died in Ivory Coast as a result of that, because it was a contested election, and over 3,000 people died. That was a Human Rights Watch reported that, right? And that resulted to the president, Laurent Gbagbo, being sent to the International Criminal Court. The guy went in there, spent over a decade there, stood his ground, fought his case, and won. There was two parties that was fighting in Ivory Coast. Two parties, right? So one party get to go there, stood his ground, fought, accusation. Won the charge and came back. So the other guy is still sitting there, and they haven't given him a trial date. So it tells you who they select, who they pick. Okay. What part of it is not true?
Blake Goudet has been freed.
Blake Goudet and Gbagbo went there together.
Yeah,
Gbagbo went first. Gbagbo went first. Let me finish. Gbagbo went first. The president went first. Blake Goudet, who was one of his top advisors, went there too. Also beat the case. He beat his case too.
Yeah, so the guy sitting there hasn't been free.
Who?
You said the other guy sitting there hasn't been freed.
Alassane Ouattara. I'm talking about the other party. There was two parties that was fighting. Alassane Ouattara against Laurent Gbagbo. Well, right? There was a contested election. And the election was contested, right, by Alassane Ouattara. But 3,000 people were killed because both sides fought. right?
but
And
Alassane can't go to Warcraft because they know that's the France favor. They
that's what
favor
I'm trying to
him.
tell
Yeah,
Dynasty.
no,
We know the Human Right Watch. We know how they do business in Africa. That's what I'm trying to explain.
And
When they took Bagbo was in the he was not pro French. He was not pro West. That's why they took him there. That's why they took him there, and he won. They got him there for 10 years. 10 years. They brought all the charges against you: the killing, rape, all that. He beat it.
Do you know the French soldier was the one that fighting in the palace? They were there along Ouattara group to fight him.
Yeah, it was the French soldiers. True, yeah.
Right. And Ouattara is still there.
You know, in Africa now,
look at Daddy's camera, yeah. Did the French went after Daddy's camera? Did they went after Daddy's camera after that killing? No, they didn't. And it's exactly.
It's all
no, so the things what they are doing to Traore right now, guys. CD, there is I'm gonna send it to men, right, and they will send it to you. They went to a village full of Fulani. All these are Traore supported. They watch the report. They're like, nah, man, that's not what they're doing to us here. Most of them, you will see the Tico, the Diallo, all of them. They saw it. And they're like, what are you talking about? The same thing I told you last week is still going on in Burkina Faso. Our military is well prepared, well trained, and they have you have the gendarmes in Sierra Leone. Those people follow the military. They report on everything. What happened in there? What didn't happen? You know what I'm saying? They report. Right, they report everything. Traore told the lady or the man that was talking about the accusation. He said, we did have some people. We did things. We got them. Then our prison. Traore told them that. Some of the people that you guys are talking about, we got them ourselves. So what are you talking about? Like, okay, and then they're trying to put the terrorists on the same pedestals as a sovereign country. We are not fighting a sovereign country. We're fighting terrorism. Right, and then so you were when the other guy was my man was talking about the French 24 and all that. That's what I ask Africans, right? I want the Nigerian, the Ghanaians, all of you guys who got French as your partner, military, whatever you guys have with them, right? So, Donis, you said there was an interview with Al Qaeda. Elvis also said that. Guys, please put the link so we can see the interview.
They still
were they recording of them speaking and they send it to the Western world to listen, or they were interviews. It's two different things. So
they never gonna put it up because it didn't happen.
Okay. Hold on. So you want to watch the Bin Laden interview?
He's talking about the CBS thing, but it wasn't from CBS. It was some other local thing.
No, I mean there was an interview with Bin Laden years
back.
Yeah,
I'm saying, do you want to watch? So you guys want to watch the Bin Laden interview?
No. Well, that's the point I'm getting to, right? If you are coming to my country and I'm labeling somebody as a terrorism, and you got that very person in your country listening to him, how the heck I'm supposed to trust you? Because you know his whereabouts, right? And you are telling me, you found him, you spent 10 years, you can't find him, but somehow, some way, he found his way to your country. Right. That's a red flag for me.
John Miller was a CNN reporter. He was the one I interviewed.
Interview. So
my point is, Human Rights Watch.
Are you saying Bin Laden wasn't a terrorist? That's what you're saying? What are you saying?
Is a terrorism. The United States, the United States did business with him, though. The United States did business. The United States did business with him.
1 minute.
Donis, United States did business with him, yes or no?
No, 1 minute.
You're moving the goalposts.
No, we're not.
I'm confused. Hold on, well, Mike, we went from Bin Laden didn't do the interview to show me the interview.
The classic interviews that I'm talking about.
I'm talking. I'm losing my train of thought. You guys are talking. So I don't understand your point. Bin Laden was interviewed. So
where was the interview at? Where was the interview at?
Oh my God!
I'm just asking because I haven't seen it. I've seen recording him.
You haven't seen something doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
No. That's not the point I'm making. I'm saying the sort of interview that the kind of interview I'm talking about. Those terrorists travel to Paris. That's what I'm talking about.
But okay, this is Bin Laden interview.
Let me speak.
Hold on,
they interviewed him.
I'm speaking. Thank you. All right, so this has Bin Laden being interviewed. I don't understand where you guys are trying to take this. What do you want to know?
No, on broadcast live on every. That's the point I was
They
trying to
don't
make.
interview people live. They go
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. You moving the goalpost now. Now we got.
No, I'm not moving because you didn't understand what I was saying. You did not understand what I was saying.
Oh, hold on. First, it didn't happen. Then it was like he's in France. Then it was like, oh, it's not live.
Donis, let me say, I just looked it up. They interviewed him late 1990s and right after 9/11, but they didn't interview him when the U.S. was at war with Al Qaeda.
Absolutely.
Because he was in hiding. What are you talking about?
Y'all move the goalpost now.
Okay. That's beside the point. That's beside the point. And let me address Elvis, right? I'm under the impression he knows my country and my people more than we do. I would like for him to focus a little bit more about Liberia because he doesn't know my country. So when you hear lying, right? If you're in my country, I would have sued you. You say you use freedom of speech, and when you lie, then we can take you to court as well, right? So don't sit over here and tell me, no. Traore put people on the battlefield, civilian on the battlefield. Whereas it's a lie.
There's literally an article about that guy.
Okay,
if
so
you
now
look it
the
up right
article,
now, that's why I said there's only one case that I know about.
Article, right? The article, when the white man put the article out, your fat ass will sit in there and say that's true, right? That's what we're doing.
There's a picture of the man.
Okay.
I think he was a journalist or a doctor. He criticized Traore openly, and Traore sent him to the front line.
He didn't go to the front line, and you're a liar. Because I'm from
where
that
did he go,
country.
St. James?
Okay, you're a liar. That's
where
what I'm
did
saying.
he go?
He didn't go. I'm responding to you.
Said.
So, do you understand that when
No, I don't understand nothing. Where did he go?
So, dude, let him finish, man. Stop cutting him off.
No, be quiet, bro. I'm not talking to you.
No,
where did he go,
St. James? You shut up, man.
No.
Where did he go?
You see, you don't listen. You don't listen.
No. The other day, because I didn't have the time. You guys that was running away. I got time today, bro. Let's have the conversation. Where did he go?
You already have your perceived idea about.
No, you talking about suing me? What type of shit is that?
No. If you lie about somebody, you said
when your ass was being ruled by Comparis, you were crying to get out of Burkina Faso. Y'all were crying to the West to free you guys.
Okay.
And the West came and intervened. Now you're talking about you don't want democracy. Hypocrites.
In Liberia, there was a war criminal that was a Congress that was an MP in Liberia. They have those in Liberia. Prince Johnson was a war criminal. He was a part of the parliament in there.
Yeah, you had a murderer who killed Sankara and ruled you for 27 years. Okay. So what are you saying?
That is why you letting this guy cut me off.
No. Don't ask for protection. You want to smoke with me? Let's have it.
No. When he talks, we listen.
But hold on. Say James, he has a point. The guy that assassinated Thomas Sankara did rule for like 20-something years, so he has a point.
Donis, you are very hypocritical. You know, right? So when it comes to Liberia, when it comes to Liberia, right? Somehow, somewhere, you have to give him a look. Somehow, listen. This guy, Prince Johnson, right?
Hey, hold on. I gotta mute you. Me and Elvis go back and forth about Liberia. And
when it comes to the American Liberians.
We go back and
That's
forth.
the only time you guys argue.
No. Prince Johnson was a war criminal. I mean,
he was a war. He killed somebody in video. In a recorded video. Torture him.
Hold on, CJ. You're not gonna talk over me. I understand that.
I know. I'm getting there.
But the person that assassinated Thomas Sankara, he ruled for 20-something years. So
and we never wanted him. We never wanted him. We got rid of him ourselves. What did the Liberia do? The guy died on his own. The guy died on his Prince Johnson died on his own.
He ruled for 20-something years.
Right, but that's fine. We got rid of him. That's why I tell you are hypocritical when you come to Liberia. They kept that guy as a parliament member. And you know who's over there in Liberia preaching?
He was a senior senator of
yes. They never tried that guy. And you know that guy who's over there in Liberia walking around preaching? General butt naked. They haven't done nothing to him. War criminal too.
He's a war criminal.
Yeah, that's true actually.
And Elvis is over here talking. What is Elvis is talking about?
That's one thing.
What Elvis is talking about?
You're talking about a guy who killed your president, rule you for 27 years. You know, rule you for 27 years. You talk about how strong your men are.
We got rid of him
for 27 years. The president, you didn't run him out of there. He willfully resigned and went into exile.
He didn't resign. He didn't resign on his own. No, he didn't resign on his own. We got rid of him.
You
Check
got
the
rid of him.
information.
Okay.
But your guy, right?
They got rid of him.
Prince, Doe got what he deserved. Doe was a murderer.
And that's
He got
fine.
captured and murdered by
And
somebody else
that's
that he was
fine.
fighting.
And that's fine. That's the point I'm
Right.
just
So
trying to make.
what is your point?
most of them flee from US too. Most of them that will get declare asylum, they left the
Dinah.
country. They left the
Dinah.
country because they were charged with
Yeah.
war crime.
I
Yeah.
wanted
Somebody's
to address
calling my name.
something.
Somebody's calling my name. Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to address something when you said about the body of Thomas Sankara was moved. That was incorrect because it was from Rob Kapoor. They planned to move the body from before, but he got removed. And when he got removed, the family was aware that the body was going to get removed. And when they did the ceremony, the family were there at attendance for the ceremony when the body was moved. Just to let you know, because she lied about that. It wasn't from IB; it was from the previous government before IB.
Okay.
And also, sorry, I
Even
wanted
for
to
the
say that
Sanko went to war crime too, right?
sorry, Blaise Compaoré
Yeah, for the Sanko,
was there
Sanko
with
was.
the support of
Yeah,
outside.
I got to actually double check that CD.
Yeah.
Hey, V from Ghana, right?
Guys, let me pass the mic to Prince Louis. Go ahead, Louis.
Yeah, let me just start off by saying
Wait, hold on. Dynus, you gotta call him out from the porn he played from last time, man.
The who?
Do you remember those noises he was making?
Oh, I forgot. Go ahead, Louis.
Louis, they said you was watching porn the other
Oh
night.
my God, this guy is a messy guy, man. He's Ghanaian. I'm not surprised.
I have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
He's Ghanaian.
Louis is just tired, man.
I gotta read the super chat. FBA Young Line, thank you for 499 holla. The irony is that the American founding fathers never believed in democracy. Allow Traore to do his thing. He's doing an exceptional job. All right, go ahead, Louis.
Let me just start off by saying that coup d'etat is a crime punishable by death in all countries, including Burkina Faso and the AES countries. I cannot believe that black people, or some black people, have got to a stage whereabouts you can actually get diarrhea, cover it with shit, with gold spray, and sell it to black people and tell them this is gold. Every time St. James opens his mouth to defend the undefensible, he just digs more and more of a hole for himself. Okay? You could easily have brought the frustration of the Burkina Faso people through the political system, but he chose not to do it. Okay? If they can make a whole program on BBC saying that Kwame Nkrumah was so stupid, he bought snowplows to Ghana. If they can do that sort of propaganda, what makes you think you're going to be immune? Especially when you're an illegal lawbreaker. You've got to stop coming on here and wasting your energy trying to convince the rest of us that he done this and he done that. A criminal is a criminal. He is a criminal.
In Burkina Faso, a criminal, not in Ghana.
Until he can legitimize himself.
He's a criminal in Burkina Faso, not in Ghana.
He's a criminal because
in Burkina Faso.
Crimes punishable by death.
That's fine. Go ahead and give him death. Why don't you travel and go give him death?
Hello. He is also a criminal in the eyes of the ECOWAS treaty. Okay, so you can laugh what you like. You can call you like. He's a criminal.
ECOWAS treaty.
And this is the problem with black people. Okay, that's why we can't get nowhere, because we make the rules, but you want to change it when you break the rules. You can't.
We left ECOWAS for you to lead it. We left ECOWAS for you to lead it.
Government changing the rules.
The guy is a traitor, bro. He committed an act of treason.
Guys, don't interrupt him. Guys, don't interrupt.
No, we left ECOWAS for you to lead it.
Okay, that's fine. Go ahead, Louis. Don't interrupt him. Go ahead, Louis.
Why are you leading ECOWAS? We left it for you to lead it.
Say, James, don't interrupt him. Go ahead, Louis.
Okay. Do you remember that guy you interviewed some time ago? He's a French activist. In fact, he lost his French passport and he went back to Senegal to help them by exposing the dirty things that the French were doing. You see how effective that brother became? Okay. He didn't pick up a gun. He went through the political system.
He live in AES country. Can you say about leaving
quiet, bro?
Guys, don't interrupt him. Don't interrupt him. Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead,
right? He could have chosen that route as a young man. He chose not to. On the other side, we had a man who was in his 80s when he became president. He went through the ranks despite being overqualified for the job, and he was a state man for years. He went through the ranks and done it the proper way to show young people how you do it. The minute you pick up a gun, you give the excuse for everybody else to pick up a gun. So whatever come Traore's way, and I wish him the best, he's brought it onto himself. and he knows this. He's a soldier. That's what
I
I'm gonna
can't
say.
trust a Ghanaian
Right?
like you,
Led
bro.
by
I
a gun,
can't trust a
die by a
Ghanaian like
gun.
you.
gonna say
Do a
for
coup,
now.
you gonna get cooled out too.
I
Right?
can't trust a
Right?
Ghanaian like
That's
you,
what.
bro.
That's what.
not
Of course you
necessarily
can't.
true.
We're what I'm saying.
That's not necessarily true.
You can go to the uneducated, unenlightened idiots in the
Yes.
villages, all right?
At what
And
age did you
you
run
can
from Ghana,
brainwash them.
Lewis?
But
What
don't come
age
on
did
the
you run
dynasty.
from Ghana?
Don't come on the dynasty
At
news
what
show
age
trying
your
to tell
family
them
run you
bullshit
out of
because
Ghana?
we are not having it. Okay,
Yeah.
nobody running me out
Who's
of
we?
Ghana.
Who's
I
we?
go back
What
to
age
Ghana
did you run
anytime I
out of
want to go
Burkina
back to
Faso,
Ghana.
St. James?
Who's we?
Hey, Lewis.
What you ran out of Burkina Faso too? What are you talking about, man?
Hey, bro,
Can I
Lewis.
say
Hey,
something?
Donis, can I respond to him since he's talking about Kemi
No,
Seba?
but let me
No,
pass the mic
just
to
1
Baba.
second.
No,
1 second.
I gotta pass the mic.
Sure,
Baba,
sure,
go
sure.
ahead. Go ahead. Baba,
Can
go
I
ahead.
say
Hey,
something?
what's up, guys? What's up? I kind of lose my voice, so I'm
Well,
just talking. What's up, man? St. James, big up Sadid, big up all the whole crew, man. I just want to be on the topic of who's talking about the smear campaign. I'm here first. I'm going to be really short and sweet. I just want to ask Sadid that he said we got to use the West and all that. I just want him to know the people that's doing this smear campaign against Ibrahim Traore and them right now. Why do you think are they doing that? You think they're doing that? They're gonna come in and help you and help with the military and be very nice with Burkina Faso and them with the smear campaign that they're doing right now. And they got a guy that talking the nonsense. Let me tell you something. Black people is the downfall of black people everywhere. In America, in the Caribbean, and in Africa. We are the problem everywhere. We're not going to prop up Traore and give him the support. We're going to say he's a cool leader and he gained with the gun, so he should die with the gun. You understand? All these traitors, and I'm a sake, man. I'm a sake on here. All our traitors need to go. After they died, let them die, because enough is enough. When are black people going to rise up and take back what is rightfully theirs, and stop saying some negative all the time about the guy who's building up his country and trying to liberate black people? Enough is enough, man. I'm not going to say nothing negative about Traore because he's doing what we like and what we see it. No African leader in Africa is doing. None.
Are you a Burkina Faso?
I don't want to hear nothing about he coming with a coup. The guy that do the coup before Traore was letting these people die by terrorists. He was like, no, leave the terrorists, let them kill them, and then we can go in. He was letting them die. So this clown who come from Ghana, and I'm gonna call you a clown, you are all clown fool. And we young ones, we're not taking it anymore from y'all people, man. We're not taking it.
Take your diabetes and cholesterol medicine, man.
Fool,
You
man.
about to have a
You
heart
a
attack.
fool from Ghana, man. And I'm gonna tell you, you a fool. And anywhere I see any one of you guys stand up next to me talking that nonsense, it's gonna be on sight. Because let me tell you, we're not gonna play them kind of games no more.
We got you, Yeah, that's what's up, Baba Liko. Hey, Donis, please, I want to respond to Louis. Just 1 second. Not going to be too long.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Are you talking about Louis? Are you talking about Kemi Seba? Or are you talking about somebody?
I'm talking about a gentleman that
Kemi
what's
Seba.
his name? Donis interviewed.
It's Kemi Seba.
Thank you. You can work
Okay.
for the
Yeah. No. Let's have it. We're gonna have a respectful conversation, Louis. Let's make it respectful so people can listen. Do you know Kemi Seba is the advisor of Tiani?
Huh?
In Niger.
Do you know he's an advisor to Tiani, the president of Niger?
Actually, he's currently
Yeah, he has a diplomatic passport from Niger. You know what that means? He didn't pick up weapon, but he didn't understand the power. That's why he went to Niger. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Now you were trying to draw a parallel, and I'm telling you,
answer the question. You chose not to use the political system. You chose not to do that.
But you see,
the easy way.
Hey, Donis,
I can agree.
If a
partially.
guy coups Traore, will he be considered a traitor, or will he be the new Traore on the block?
Why is he gonna be cooled? Your president
because
can
he
be
cool
cooled.
somebody else.
Your president can be cooled in Liberia. They don't like him.
So why is this sacrilegious to say that Traore is going to get cool?
Elvis,
Why is this sacrilegious to say you're going to get cool? Are you offended by that?
Why?
Be cool with another person.
Bad thing has to happen to us.
Oh, so it's bad when somebody commits a coup, huh?
But then when you
it wasn't bad when Traore did a coup.
Okay.
trying to be stick to the basics.
Listen.
Hypothetically,
I can
elected
These
respond.
individuals
guys.
happen.
The
Then what
people,
would you say? Would
the
you say
people
anything?
within that
Since you
nation.
like him, it's bad.
No,
If you didn't like the leader, it
it
would have
has
been good for
nothing.
somebody to cool him.
Traore,
This is like
you
a
see,
fool.
whether he was a civilian or military, we don't care. He's doing the job. We don't
Okay.
care about the uniform, sir.
Okay, then
If
why
you
don't you
believe
go to
that's
the
because
polls
he's
and do an
wearing a
election?
uniform,
Let's
then
see
you
who
got
the
us.
people vote for you.
You don't understand. Louis, relax,
What
Louis.
do you relax?
We
I'm
don't
relaxed.
care
My country
about
is
the
cool, my
uniform.
friend. My country is cool. What I'm not gonna have is you coming here brainwashing other black
Lewis,
people
you need
to
That's
accept
Lewis.
first
shit.
of all, it's
We're
not
not
your panel.
Your
It's
extraterrestrial.
not your
country, your
channel.
country
First,
You
runs
have
by
a
the
you
very
have a
wrong.
constitution
Very wrong
that
things about why your
defines your
country has
political
the
how many
situation
system.
right
times
now. You're gonna have
constitution get
27
changed in
You
years
have a
Africa?
constitution, bro.
How
Why
many
let your
times
people go and
constitution get
formulate a
changed in Africa?
constitution if they didn't
Constitution
want a
get changed
democracy?
every time in
We had
Africa. It's not
27
the
years
first
of
time.
democracy, man.
We're only going by what your
Constitution get
constitution
changed every
says.
time.
Can I say something,
One
please?
Yeah,
person can't come and change it on a whim.
I gotta pass the mic to V. Go ahead, V. Go ahead, V.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Yeah, when since Louis brought up ECOWAS, yeah, ECOWAS is sitting there whereby you have so-called democratic government changing the rule every minute. Allah has done it
We
many
know that. We
occasions.
know that. We know
Oh
that.
yeah,
Guy,
so
Let her
can
talk,
I
Lewis. Let her talk, Lewis.
hold on,
That's your
interrupt.
Ghanaian sister. Let her talk, man.
and let me
Don't
finish.
interrupt her. Go
And
ahead, V.
we have Patrice whatever in Benin, we have it in Togo, and it goes on and on and on. If not out of the tenacity of those young Senegalese guys, we probably would have had it in Senegal. What is the essence of democracy if they're going along and changing the rules every minute to suit themselves and their paymasters? And basically, they're not doing it for the people. I can understand where you're coming from, Louis, that, when we had the military coup in Ghana, my family suffered as well. And I can understand. It seems
Louis'
like your
family
family.
made you suffer, V. Louis' family
Huh?
got you into that predicament. His
Yeah,
family.
they ran to
They're the one
England.
who did that to you. Auntie Rollins came in and he ran
See,
away.
Jay's
His
family
family ran away.
suffered too when
No,
Campari did that coup.
let me just finish.
And he didn't do nothing about it. He fled.
Don't interrupt her. V, go ahead.
No, when we had the military coup in Ghana, a lot of family did suffer, and they're still playing a lot of people's mind. And that is why in Ghana, for instance, even though the political dispensation we have now, the so-called democracy is not really working, but a lot of Ghanaians are afraid of coups. That was when the previous Nanado went and made a statement that he was against Traore and other people.
He never said he was against them.
Oh, y'all, guys,
Listen, he was against military coup. He wasn't.
Yes, he should be against military coup.
Yeah, let me finish. If you let me finish, you understand? He was against military coup, but all his actions, if you look at what he was doing, he was similarly doing what the Traore and others are doing in the Sahel. He was cutting the Western.
Wow.
That's a lie.
That's a bloody lie.
Listen, let me finish.
That's not true.
Let me finish.
That's not true.
That is 100% true. You see, don't bring yourself.
Because this is the guy that accused Burkina Faso of attacking Ghana before the Central City.
Let her finish.
Let me finish because I live in Ghana. You didn't. Let me tell you, for instance, right? Nanado, the only time he got himself into difficulties when we had COVID and the economic situation got difficult. That is when he went to IMF. Nanado was doing everything to win Ghana off a lot of things that we were depending on the West. He was bringing industry. He wanted to make everything we're doing in the country Ghanaian based. He changed a lot of things that he was using the indigenous people to push them along to do a lot of things that previous government were just offloading it to the Western or other people from elsewhere. When he came in, for instance, we had Ghana has its own gas, and Ghana was running. The gas was being run by apparently I think a Chinese company that was costing about $4 million a month or so, which was a lot of money that Ghana couldn't afford. He went into the gas plant and he spoke to them and said, why are you not training Ghanaians to do it? And within a year, he got Ghanaian engineers doing what the Chinese were doing. But this current government is reversing everything. So
why did you criticize Nana Ado when you were just praising him now that he did a lot of great things?
I'm not praising him.
And that's exactly what
All right, I have a question for you.
The guy was a consummate diplomat and a true Democrat.
Now
He's not a military leader.
in Ghana, so you don't know what was going on. Because I was there. Listen, I was there. I was there, I was there, and I saw what was happening. So don't just
you just told us all the great things that he did. So what are you talking about?
Do you know Adu was the one that accused Burkina Faso of terrorism? He stood up before Anthony Blinken.
Talk about your Liberia, TD. Your Liberia.
Let me finish. Let me answer your question.
He criticized Macron to his face. We saw that interview, that press conference.
He was grandstanding.
Do you know my problem? Do you know my problem with Ado was he would speak Pan-Africanism and act otherwise. Okay?
My friend, he was more Pan-African than anyone.
I saw him.
Listen, you guys are talking similarly to what this woman was saying about Burkina Faso. That they're doing this. Nanadu, if you look at what Nanadu is doing, because you were not living in Ghana at the time, I was okay.
Well, he's a hypocrite. You were a hypocrite. You went and signed the article.
Hold on. Speak about Dumbuya. Who's got a French wife?
Guys, hold on. V has 45 seconds. No one interrupt her. All right. Go ahead, V.
Okay, it's my 45 seconds, right? You, Africa, you are the biggest hypocrite here. Why don't you speak about Dumbuya, who's got a French wife for a French spy for a wife?
I'm not from Guinea. Why would I speak about Dumbuya? I'm from Sierra Leone.
You're Mandinka. You defend Mandinkas, and you're Mandinka.
Hold on. I spoke against Dumbuya.
No, guys, stop. V, you got 45 seconds. No one interrupt for 45 seconds.
Okay.
Go ahead, V. Go ahead.
And what I was saying about Nanado, that none of you that are not privy to what was going on, mouthing off about this A, B, C, and the other. Nanado was not, I'm not saying Nanado was a perfect Pan-Africanist, but what he was doing for Ghana, I'm talking about Ghana. I'm not talking about anywhere else. He went and made a statement about Burkina Faso, which a lot of Ghanaians were very upset with him. They were very pissed off. And he himself would live to regret that statement he made for the rest of his life. Can you keep quiet, for crying out loud? You know, and there was a lot of things that he did that for me, I like, because he was putting indigenous Ghanaians first in everything, which a lot of African governments don't do. You know, and that's one thing that I like about him. He came in, our education system was bad. He pumping a lot of money. And when people were, were asking him, he said, listen, if the more people that are educated in the country, the job will be less difficult for all of us. You know, and this current government has come in reversing almost everything. All right. So let's not go there. That's what I'm saying about Ronaldo. I'm not saying that he was perfect. He was not in a lot of ways, but a lot of things that he did for Ghanaians was right. But Ghanaians didn't see.
Ghanaians can speak now.
I gotta read the super chats. FBA Young Line, thank you for 499. Holla. Elvis, did you support the coup and assassination of President William Tolbert? Go ahead, Elvis.
Let everybody answer.
Hold on. That question was for Elvis. Go ahead, Elvis.
Sure. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I didn't support the coup. I supported the progressive. The progressive who wanted multi-party democracy. I supported them, and I thought it was time for a change.
Dennis, this guy is the most hypocrite African ever.
Dennis, can I speak?
That's what I'm telling you. This guy he supported everything that happened to the American Liberia.
Thank you to B, man. Thank you for shouting out Nanado. He was a great leader in Ghana and a true Democrat.
You can go back to videos. You can go back to video he made with this guy called Carla Genesis. You can hear Elvis on this video praising the coup, saying the coup was justified, that we needed to bring the country back and give it to the native. Elvis was there doing that.
Yeah, I remember that.
Listen, I've criticized Samuel Doe's action for killing those people. I've criticized it. On focus on Liberia,
Elvis, the videos are there.
I'm not a coup supporter. I'm a Democrat.
You supported the coup.
If you wanted a coup, I guess you like the fact that Campari killed Sankara. So you like coup
leaders. He supported the coup, but he said he didn't want death. But he supported the coup. I heard him on his own word. He said that.
Elvis, so James is right though. Liberia.
Can I answer her question about
one second.
Can I answer a question about
Yeah, you
Dumbuya?
okay? I'll come after you. Go on, man. Sick after you. I'll
Okay,
come
so no,
after
I
you.
was gonna answer a question about Dumbuya. You said, what did you
Yeah,
want to
go
say
on.
about Dumbuya? Just to let you know, most of people from Guinea are not fans of Dumbuya. If you want to know what's going on right now, he's torturing people, he's kidnapping people, he's doing what France is doing. So that's why a lot of people is not fan of Dumbuya. So I don't know what was the point of
No, but
bringing Dumbuya
military
because
leaders
I'm
are
not a
so
fan of
great,
him.
man. Why is he not doing
To be
great?
honest,
Yeah.
most of
So
the
I just
Bandinka,
explained. I
most of
just
the
no.
Bandinka people, all these guys from Guinea, they all support Traore. There is a
Right,
correlation there
and
that you
thank
guys
you.
should
That's what
see.
I'm. That's what. Thank
All
you,
of them
Sir James.
support
So
Traore.
that's what
All
I'm
of them.
saying.
It's even outside of Burkina Faso. Go to Ivory Coast. Go to Senegal. Go to
yeah,
everywhere.
he does. He does have.
Everybody support
He do
Traore.
have a strong fan
Listen,
base. He has
listen.
a strong fan base.
The reality
But
is the thing that I
mm,
say about Traore here, right?
mm.
If I speak to some of my family member and tell them I speak again Traore, they will never speak to me in their life anymore. I'm telling you, right? That's the
But
love that this guy
He do
I
has.
have
mean,
a.
that's
People,
to you. But I'm
people,
saying that
people
the
love
majority
him.
of the people
That's
they
the
support
reality.
they
That's the
support
fact.
Traore.
Yeah,
My
but people are
parents support my
criticizing him.
parents.
When
All right,
Donis asked a question,
guys, I gotta read these super chats. XGP, thank you for $2 holla. Lewis family lost money and Kuz envious speaking. Go ahead. Run away from them.
Luis, just a scam.
Now,
Don't
hold up,
he's just a scam.
guys, run away from them. Go ahead and mute yourself.
no, run
How
away
y'all
from
doing, man?
democracy. That's what he says.
Okay,
Yeah,
go
yeah.
ahead.
Thank you, man. Can you guys hear me?
Oh, this
Oh
is
boy.
Yes,
May.
man.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
God, God have
You
mercy
know,
on us.
yeah. But how's everybody, man? Dynasty, how you doing, man?
Good.
Let me
You're
run
good.
my
You're
big
good. You're
mouth,
good.
please, man. I just passed the State Department real quick, so they might be looking for me. But anyway, that's a joke, man. I ain't in no trouble at all.
Be
But
careful.
anyway,
Elvis is going to report you.
oh man, I remember I went back home doing my country from Sierra Leone, right? Doing the presidency, the last election, right? Which was Matabio, right? I told people, Matabio was gonna win. People did not believe me. The reason why I came to that conclusion because I realized everything like mineral contract wise, right? When Matabio took over, he did not stop nothing. He continued the same contract with the Western Corporation, right? The same thing when it comes to diamond mining, everything, right? He did not even adjust, like increase any percent at all. So obviously he told people Matabio was going to win the election because he'd been in power for 5 years. Why? Because he did everything the Westerners approve of him. So there's no point for the rest to remove him. And then during that time, I was in my country. Then I heard Mali was getting ready to kick out the French. I said, oh my God, Assimi Goïta, you my new president now. I'll quickly switch because you know why?
What a
I know
traitor.
how the world really operates. I know it. It comes from power and resource in Africa. That's just how it is. You understand me, right? I remember also doing a year before Biden stepped out of office, right? I came here, right? A lot of people said Donald Trump had never made no money during his first term. I said, come on, are you kidding me? That's a complete lie. I said, what president that goes to office in power and never made money? People, I had a bunch of people, pushing and say, nah, you lying, this and that. Donald Trump did not make no money while he was presidency, stuff like that, right? All these things, which was completely false because Donald Trump, you already know, right? Then after that, now, I remember too, right? When Biden stepped out of office, during that time, he gave Ukraine billions of dollars. People came in and said, "Oh, Joe Biden is corrupt. Joe Biden needs to be locked up and this and that. Blah blah. Donald Trump is gonna stop it and all these things, right?" So what happened? We already know the result. Donald Trump did not stop nothing. Donald Trump continued that procedure. You understand me, right? Up to this day, he's still giving Ukraine money. He still supports Ukraine as well because you know why? America is an empire. You have to sustain the empire. It's not about who's the president. It's all about sustaining the empire. So if you know how the world really operates, right? And also people that were cold-hearted Donald Trump supporters up to this day, when they look at the news, right, they don't trust MSNBC because you know why? Donald Trump told them for years, MSNBC is fake news, it's corrupt, it's run by the Democrats, and all these things, right? People believe that up to this day. Now look at Sky News, right? Sky News is owned by who? Comcast. Who owns
Rupert
MSNBC.
Murdoch owns Sky News.
Comcast, right? You understand me, right? So these are the same people using Sky News.
It's not the same people. Rupert Murdoch owns Sky News.
No.
Comcast owns MSNBC.
No, I looked it up before I came here. Regardless or not, I looked it up before I came here. You understand me, right? Okay, then. So these are the same people that cold-hearted believe what Sky News is saying. But in America, if MSNBC tell them such a news, they say, nah, that is completely false. That is completely false. Do you understand me, right? But they sit there and watch Fox News and believe what Fox News tells them. Boom. Now that lady, right? She mentioned what you would call it, the so-called LGBT thing, right? Oh wow! So LGBT has never been an African thing. So let's be honest, right? What's they got to do with her? You understand me, right? Okay. Now look at England, right? England is this shadow. England is about what? England is not even close to what it used to be. Far away from what it used to be, right? How come Sky News is not giving the real details going on over there in England? Bring manufacturer back and all these things, make things as well, because England does not produce nothing no more. But they don't want to do that though. Instead, they want to focus on, Ibrahim Traore. Now, why are they so focused on this man right here? Because
England produce a lot of things.
No, my brother.
This fool will probably say that Burkina Faso is doing better than England.
No, that's not what I'm going. That's not what I'm going. Let me speak, because I know for sure when I go to my house, when I use things, I don't grab something that's made in England. I grab something that's made most likely 70% of the time made in China. You understand me, right? Okay, then. Now you look at it, right? A lot of people focus on the CFA franc, right? Okay. Now look at when the European nations, right? When they switched to the euro, it took them over 3 years for them to switch to euro currency, right? It took them 3 years. Now the Europeans, they were not in civil war. They had no T groups getting supported by so-called, let's say, Russia, and stuff like that, right? So that if it could take them 3 years, right? But then you have people coming up here say, oh, you're still using the French money, you're still using this and that. But at the same time, it takes time though. It takes time. So if your master took up to 3 years for them to switch to a currency that every single one of them agreed, and then he had no war going on, so how can you come up here and judge Burkina Faso and the AES? Oh, but y'all still using the CFA franc. Y'all still using the CFA franc. That's what I don't understand though. You understand me, right? What the West is trying to do is this, right? I got a question for
you, Ahmed. When they switch over, what's going to happen to their reserve in France?
I'm almost done.
Is it going to be tied to their new currency?
I got you, Elvis, man. I'm almost done.
Fuck them.
I'm almost done. Now, it looks like the Westerners. Oh yeah, by the way, Ghana president went to go see Macron over there, and also Algeria signed a defense package. Oh my God! That's why you can't trust the Arabs, man. You can't trust those Arabs, man. I always knew you can't trust Arabs, man, because if you know the history of Algeria and the French, but once it's a black African, oh my God, we gotta stop them. We gotta stop them. Now, if you look at it, right, what the West is trying to achieve, right? They trying to stop AES from getting weapons, but they can't do that because you know why? They can't sanction Russia. They can't sanction China. Whatever they're gonna try to do, they can't stop it. If this was 15 years ago, right? They could obviously stop China and Russia from sending weapons to AES. The issue is not they can't stop it. It's the same thing how America and the European Union try to sanction Russia in so many other ways, right? But then what happened then? It backfired them because you know why? They needed energy, they needed gas. It's the same thing with uranium. You need that. The black man has it. You understand? So just like I'm gonna end this, right? I'm gonna end this.
You think you're the only one with uranium?
Oh my God! I'm gonna end this, right? I'm gonna end this, right?
Bango. I said this. Respond to him. If he says if we are the only one, if we are not the only one, leave us alone.
Thank you, St. James. That's what I said last week. I said a couple days ago. I'm gonna end this, right? The downfall, the beginning of African downfall started with gold. Now, who started this revolution? It was Mali. It was Assimi Goïta. Now, what the AS are number one benefit from? Now, it's gold. So people, people think the world is not changing. But keep, you know what I'm saying? Just keep thinking that, your white man gonna be forever in power. Keep thinking that. Keep thinking that. Keep thinking. Just like how the
Do you
same
know
way
what?
you believe that Donald Trump is gonna come here and stop the war in Ukraine. I already knew it wasn't, because you know why? That's the whole empire in America. I end it right there.
No, great point. Great
Oh,
point.
what
I
a
mean,
load of
Elvis.
rubbish.
Elvis. You know your problem is. I noticed one
Oh
thing
man,
about you. You have this. Oh, don't worry about him. You do you know what I noticed about you, Elvis? Your problem is. I love you dearly as my brown brother. We're neighbors. We've been through the same struggle. But there's one thing about some Liberian brothers and some of the Southern Nigerians. They carry the same mentality, and some of the Ghanaian brothers also add it up as well. Not all of them, because I don't
We're not
generalize.
Islamic
They think,
fundamentalists.
yeah, whatever. Yeah,
You're,
okay.
you're going
They
to
have
open a
this.
can of worms. Don't do it,
They
Africa,
have they
Africa.
have this they have this white savior mentality. They think the entire world. There's nothing. Listen, I'm very close. I got a lot of white friends. I have good relationship with loads of them. I'd never generalize on white people or the West. People can, people are here. Can tell you that. That myself. I said about if I'm one of my problem with Traore was he was just picking one side, but I noticed he's very pragmatic guy. He's actually looking for what is best for his people, and he's doing that. And that's one of the reasons why I'm very much leaning towards him.
But
And
it took the both of us to have a genuine conversation, right?
that's
Let me
right,
let me
yeah,
respond to you real quick, right?
100%.
Let me respond to
But
you.
yeah, absolutely, Saint James. But
Yeah.
in Elvis, I want you to realize, please, my brother, I want you to realize if you look at the problem that we faced in the continent of Africa, what the CIA been doing in the continent and the people that they've been injecting. Because sometimes when you talk, bro, like the word that you use, like terrorism, Islamism, there's a lot of words like these sort of phrases, right? These are the words that the CIA been using,
Oh
like
boy.
a power phrase. Yeah, these are just one example. Okay, they've been using it as a power phrase for the agenda in the world and Africa. And
Okay.
these
Let
people
me respond
always,
quickly, right?
these people, they after the industrial complex. Remember, their corporation and the military industrial complex go hand to hand. They always after what they can grab from you. If they
Okay.
can,
I hear you. Let me say this. Look, in Africa, we all know this. Anytime there's unrest, anytime the people feel like their government is oppressing them, in most places in Africa, you know where the first place they go to? They go to the United States Embassy, or they go to these
why
Western countries
that
embassy to
need to
go.
stop? That
Hold
need to
on,
stop.
hold on. Let me
Why?
speak, bro. You had your chance. 1 second.
I
They
only said a
go and
couple of
plead.
things, but go
Hold
on.
on. They go and plead with the Western nations to please come and intervene. They write to these, Western countries, the right to Western governments to try to intervene with their issues. We see that all over Africa. We see that. So when people try to
Mm.
criticize the West as if to say every problem in their country is Western made, no, there's some problems that's in Africa that's African made. We have to understand that. When it comes to terrorism, this is not just a new thing. And again, I hate to bring up religion, but you know what your book says about jihad, about struggle.
Oh
Anytime
God,
there's an issue, no, don't say,
again.
oh God, you open up this, this avenue. My
Yeah,
point
yeah,
here
yeah.
is that there's these guys who are Islamists. They feel like they're justified to struggle with a group of people if they want to have a specific aim, whether it's politically or militarily. They go out there and they use Islam as a cudgel to further their aims. So it's not just the white man. Yes, these organizations can
I
buy
didn't know
guns
that.
from
Who
I,
arms
funding
now
dealers
you're
from
them?
the
bringing the
West.
white man
Who
again.
That's a
You
funding
know,
them?
fact.
see now you.
But
Elvis, let me
their
ask you a question.
ideology and their
Elvis,
religious
Elvis,
ideology
You
is
see what you
also,
just done?
Elvis,
Hold
have
on,
a
Elvis,
way of
Elvis,
hold on,
explaining
Elvis,
it.
hold
Elvis, let me
on.
ask you a
I'm
question.
just
Don't take the
Africa,
respecting. You see
blame
Africa,
what
hold
you
from the
on.
just done again?
terrorists
Africa, Africa,
committing
Africa, hold
terroristic
on, hold
Hold on,
acts
wait. See what you
and
just
blame the
done
white
again. You see
man.
what you just done again. You see what you just done
Elvis,
again.
You
You see
brought
Elvis,
what?
this
No, hang
up.
on,
I wasn't even
hold
having
on,
this
hold on,
conversation. You brought it
hold on,
up.
hold
hold
on,
on.
hold on.
You see
Africa,
what?
Africa,
No,
one
no,
second,
no.
one second,
Bang,
one
no,
second.
one
Simple,
second,
simple
bang.
You
You
question.
don't want to criticize Islam. You think Africans are too stupid to have
Listen,
agency and take
we
actions
have
that
no
benefit their
problem
own
with
interests.
we have no
Everything is not
oh
the
problem
my
with
white
God.
man.
criticizing Islam, but you sitting over here acting. Where do they get these weapons from? Where did they get these bombs from?
Yeah, they're arms dealer. If you have money,
No,
you
they're
can
not
buy
arms
them.
dealers because
If you
they're
have
not
diamonds, you can buy weapons.
Even the
What do you mean?
Even the Ghanaians came here and told
Hey, man,
you that
no, hold on. Why you guys entertaining him? Why you guys
my friend,
entertaining
you see
him?
how Evans just shift the problem against his he just slide the problem. You see how this guy is, man.
What are you talking about?
The last time I checked,
Elaborate.
right?
What do you mean slide the problem?
Yeah, but what you did is
who's the president of Syria?
you got
Who's the
on us.
president of Syria? Who's the president of Syria?
Why are you guys going far? Just leave it. Listen, why are you guys going far? This Elvis, for example, it's Liberia. It's Liberia, a majority Muslim or Christian country, Elvis.
Majority Christian. Thank God for that.
Is Sierra Leone a majority Muslim or Christian country?
I think the majority Muslim, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank you. Between Liberia and Sierra Leone, hold on. Between Liberia and Sierra Leone, who brought the war to each other's country, Elvis?
God, what's that got to my gut?
Oh, shut up. I'm not talking to you, dummy. Liberia.
Elvis, answer the question. Answer the question, Elvis.
Who you calling
You said who brought the war?
Yes.
Shut up your mouth, please. Shut up your mouth.
Yeah, who brought it to
Sierra
Sierra Leone, Elvis?
Yeah, so there was rebels that came and brought the war.
Where they come from? Where they came from, Elvis?
Okay, let me tell you one of the places they came from. Hold on, be quiet, let me answer. Be quiet, let me answer. They went to Libya. Hold on, let me answer. Hold on, you open up a can. Don't shush me now. They went to Libya. Hold on, let me explain it. Don't tell me I'm done. Don't do that. They went to Libya. They went to a place called Mataba in Tripoli. They had that little green book from Gaddafi, who was a Muslim. He trained them, he armed them, and he sent them into Africa to fight and kill their own people.
Okay.
So that's the Muslim connection, since you're looking for it. That's a Muslim connection right there.
Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised. 2 years later.
I gotta read the super chats. Elvis went to white men colonizing him personally. Thank you for $2 holler.
Dennis, can I speak now?
Dennis, you gotta bring on more, man. These guys just want to call my name. They'll give you money to call my name anytime.
I was just trying to expose him. I
can't hear nobody. You guys are talking over me. I can't hear nobody.
Yeah, thank you.
Can I speak now?
Thank you. Now, one second, and CD. I'm just exposing this guy for what he truly is, and that's
expose the fraud, man. Expose the fraud.
Yeah,
Shut up, man. You're a hypocrite and a bootlicker, man.
And the funny thing is, when these guys sit there and criticize people of other religion, but he knows the people that he's talking up to who are the West of America. I saw Liberians begging America. I'm not. Can you just mute yourself, boy? Yeah, I saw Liberians begging America, please come help us. You colonize us during the war when they're killing each other. When General Boatnaked is out there destroying the shit out of your people. Okay, it took Muslim lead. It took some Muslim leaders from Nigeria.
Oh boy!
Nigeria.
Boy! So the Muslims are the good guys. Is that where you want to go?
Can you let him finish? Elvis, can you let him finish, man?
Be quiet, bro.
You see, we're gonna expose you, Elvis.
Don't go there. Everybody know Fulanis are synonymous with terrorism and jihadists.
Don't go there. Cut everybody off.
These guys are Islamic terrorists. It's in their blood. That's how they conquered Sokoto. That's how they conquered northern Nigeria. This is their history. So don't go there.
Okay. So
and I heard you guys disparaging Yoruba the one time, right? CD, I'm disappointed in you, CD, because you guys was talking about what the word Yoruba means, right? CD, my brother, I love you, but what does the word Mandingo means? What does the word Fula mean?
No.
You guys will be mad disrespectful that day, and I just couldn't come on, but you can't have that conversation with me. You can never win that point with me, bro. You know that.
You see the point with reality with people like Elvis.
Your religion is destructive, bro. It's destroying more people on the African continent than any other thing.
Let me finish. When you are losing,
you guys kill people, bomb people, have little kids going up and blowing up themselves. Well, you don't want to call the word Islamic, call the name Muslim. You're afraid to criticize the only religion that's been killing Africans for centuries.
Elvis,
when you lose the argument, you deflect. When you lose the argument, you deflect. When you lose the argument, you deflect.
Why don't you ever talk about Sudan?
Our war wasn't a struggle. It wasn't a jihad. It wasn't a jihad.
Louis,
that's what made it a little.
What about?
Listen, he knows Elvis comes from the most Elvis comes from the most cruel tribe in Africa, but he would never say a word about it. But you know what? I feel sorry for your tribe. Do you know why? Because they're very small and irrelevant. So I wouldn't even mention them.
Yeah, they're not terrorists. They don't terrorize the entire continent with terrorism. They don't go and blow themselves up. They don't fuck cows. You know, they're not cow herders who sleep with their cows and their cattle. They don't do that. They don't drink unpasteurized milk and have parasites eating their brains and they can barely speak. They don't do that. You know that, right? They know how to pronounce the S's and the F's. They don't speak with a perpetual lisp. I mean, be quiet, man. You sound like a little barking dog. Be quiet, bro. That parasite from that unpasteurized milk that you drink is eating your brain, bro. These primitive nomads, they drink milk straight from the cow tip. And they have a lot of parasites eating their brains right now. That's why they're so violent, man.
Your people have never had an empire.
You open it up. You open it up, bro. You brought up the religion.
Guys. Y'all gonna what y'all doing?
These Fulanis love their cows more than they love their own wives and children, man. They be fucking their cows. They be drinking unpasteurized milk. They have a lot of parasites eating their brains. You know that, bro. That's a fact.
Let him speak.
Nah, you brought it up, bro. You try to tell us that Muslim are the good people. Muslim are murderers. They killed a lot of Africans in Nigeria and that whole Sahel region.
You guys are helping. You guys are helping Elvis. You guys are helping Elvis by not listening.
Man, go to the doctor and get your brain checked. You got parasites in your brain, bro.
Hold on. Let me.
1 second. You gotta mute Elvis, man.
Guys, one mic.
Mute Elvis, please.
Yeah, thank you. One mic.
Yeah, stop it. Go ahead, V. Then
thank you.
Go ahead, V.
Yeah.
Daniel's I was speaking, Daniel. I was speaking.
Guys, V. Then I gotta go. Go ahead, V.
No, I was going to say that, sometimes all of you come here and we're supposed to be listening to each other and making some, supposed to learning something. But when you have all of you speaking at the same time and you have some people making unnecessary noise at the background, what's the point of all that? This is not furthering anything. And all of you that also come here and this tribe that, that tribe this, all of our tribe as guilty as everybody else, because we are all in Africa there and we are all part of the problem, destroying the whole place. Okay? You can go into history and this tribe did that. I mean, when you talk about slavery, the first thing that some of you, especially Africa will mention, the Ashantis. But the Ashantis, when it comes to slavery, were even insignificant. God. You always going on about tribes.
I never go on about tribe. He mentioned religion. But I'm telling him, if he come to tribe, his tribe sold more. His tribe used to be the one that tied black people for the white man and put them in the boat slaves.
Not true. My tribe was being captured and they fought and killed themselves rather than being slaves. What are you talking about? You know my people.
It's my turn, and so did Fulani. So did Fulani.
Let V talk. So I got V.
Listen. When it comes to all the tribes in Africa, you can mention one tribe, say the Mandinka, Fulani, or even the Akans or whatever. Just as they were guilty of participating in slavery, they also became victims of this enslavement. That's what went on. Fulanis participated, but Fulanis were also very vulnerable because of their lifestyle. They too became a huge, especially Fulani women. They were taken in their thousands. Okay, so stop it. When it comes to enslavement, don't blame.
I did not mention tribe. 1 minute, he brought religion over there, and I said, "It's the people of my tribe and religion who came and rescued people during the war in Liberia." And I say, "Full stop." End of the story. My people came to Liberia and rescued these people from slavery.
I can't hear nobody.
You can talk about religion. When it comes to religion, I would say that when it comes to West Africa, both Christians and Muslims, I love them all. The only people that I find difficult with is the ones in northern Nigeria, and I don't know what they're doing over there. But when it comes to religion, in terms of Islam in West Africa, it's one of the best. I know a lot of Muslims that they don't cause anybody any problem. in Ghana, even though it's a Christian majority, you can live in one street and you have a mosque there and a church there, and they all make noises to disturb each other. The Muslims come in with their speakers early in the morning, and the Christians also go into their praise and worship early in the morning to disturb. So when it comes to religion, I don't find anything wrong apart from the ones in Nigeria causing trouble. Northern Nigeria, may I say, I don't have any issue with any Muslim in West Africa or a Christian in West Africa. We are all deluded in our religion, and we all either do good or do bad. And that's where it is. So I leave it there.
All right,
Christ is king.
I got to close out. Everyone, thank you for joining.
Man, you let
Christ is king.
you let Elvis again walk away.